Waiting room, goodbye to you. Yeah, this is starting up right now. And we are live, my boy. We are on a live stream. Things are looking good. It's all good in the hood. How you feeling today, Big Dog Lewis?
Good, bro. How are you, sir?
Bro, shout out to you. Shout out to everything that happened on your birthday. You are a better man than me and probably a lot more stronger in the Constitution than I am because we were able to party all night. And if I'm being honest, to celebrate your birthday, I really think that I am still recovering, my boy. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for stepping out here today to help each and every one of us with what is going on in the crypto markets in concerning with the tariffs. Bro, how are you doing? And what are we about to be on right now?
We're gonna mostly talk about today about news and generally how to look for proper news, what to look for, what are the important things to see, and economic calendar, and just explanation of everything that comes into that, and what is going on right now. To be honest, with all the tariffs and stuff.
Yo, I really appreciate you saying that because what I'm realizing is that a lot of the broskies don't even know skis what is going on right now. And if you take a look at your chat right now, I'm actually sending you the live stream thumbnail that I made for you and myself to get the brothers excited about what we got going on here today. And I'm about to send out the link to our entire brotherhood that you can only get behind the school paywall to get access to our community because we are building something strong out here today, man. And as you see, we got Big Dog Lewis in the building who actually was kind enough to call this meeting. So thank you for doing that, my brother in arms out here, bro. Let's fucking go. As we speak, I'm about to invite the brothers in, my guy. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, my dude, let's fucking do this thing. I'm inviting everybody right now. All right, we just sent out the first round of invitations. We got some of the brothers already starting to look at it. Give them a second to come in. All right, who we got popping in right now? Let's see. Let's see. What have I got? We got TC in the building. How we doing, TC, bro?
What's good, brother? What's good, Lewis, man? Good to see y'all boys, man.
That's good.
Yes,
Welcome.
sir. Once again, happy belated, Lewis. I know I said it the other day, but happy birthday again, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Of course.
Ain't nothing like having the brotherhood roll up, man. TC all the way out there in Massachusetts. It is good to have you. And my dog Patrick, all the way out there in Hawaii. It is beyond good to have you, brother, man. I'm glad that you're coming in.
Okay.
Always coming in strong, brother, man.
Sure. What's up, boys?
Not
What's
much,
up?
bro. How
You
y'all
live
boys
in
doing out here,
he
bro?
he lives in Hawaii, bro.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Gay ass
That's
Hawaii, bro.
that's that's awesome.
Y'all
Yeah.
boys, just so you know, we are on a live stream. You guys are live right now on YouTube, and we are going in. Yo, brother Omar, brother Julian, please say what up, man. It is good to have you guys in here for this crypto call today.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, Chris? Thank you for having me on, and thank you, Lewis, for holding this, man. I really appreciate it.
Yo, what's good?
It's good, boss.
Ain't nothing like having the brotherhood up in here when we got like some crazy blood in the markets, but to have like a good, clear understanding of all that. I appreciate you, Omar. We know you're getting faded up with the ladies. To have all y'all in the brotherhood here today to talk about what's going on in the crypto markets, we're going to be guided and focused. We are not like even bothered. We're not even tripping over what's going on because Lewis is about to give us some top-notch quality guidance on what's going on in these markets today. So as we got some people going on around here, please boys, feel free to chop it up with Lewis. His birthday has just gone by. Me and him literally was going fucking nuts. This dude is a better man than me. He was able to hold his constitution better than myself. Lewis, man, let him know what the fuck was up on your birthday, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chill time, you know. We just talk business. You know, drank. I mean, I drank. Chris doesn't drink, so I might have drank a little too much. at the end of it. But it was good. It was good. I appreciate you coming,
Yo,
Chris.
appreciate it. Yo, that's gonna be a team when the whole brotherhood is out here. Me and Bayate are working on something right now to make sure that you guys don't have to worry about shit when y'all move out here. And there'll be more details on that later when me and Patrick and Bayate host a Zoom call specifically for the brotherhood to make sure everybody's connected and fine. But yeah, you guys will be out here for his birthday at some points. And I'll ask who's got another birthday coming up while we got the brothers leaking in here. But you know, Julian or Patrick or TC or Omar, what would y'all have done if y'all was out here on Lewis's birthday, man?
Definitely would have showed Lewis some love, man. We would have got to the club. I would have introduced him to some ladies. We would have got him some drinks. We'd have treated him right, man, because he's been treating us right this whole journey. Learning a lot through crypto, for crypto, learning a lot about crypto through Lewis. Him giving us knowledge and game that probably we wouldn't have without him. So definitely would have showed love back in some regard.
Big
What?
facts. Yo, thanks for hopping in here, Mikey.
What up, ninjas?
Yes, sir. We are live on all platforms, just so everybody knows. Lewis is about to go in on this crypto knowledge. Right now, we've sent out this link to a lot of the dudes in the Brotherhood, and I'm sending them a personal reminder right now as you guys go ahead and get reintroduced with Lewis. And if you want to ask some questions right now, go right ahead, man.
What's good, Mike?
What's good, TC?
Kiki on the river. Yo, all right, I see you, Patrick. Kiki on the river on Lewis's next birthday. Yo, that's facts, bro.
This guy.
Mike, Pat loves some Kiki on the river, bro.
I know.
Bro,
Yo,
that place is
big
lit, bro.
facts.
That's
Big
hilarious.
facts, bro. So, all right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough to get started, Lewis. And I got, probably some questions here and there myself, man. So 6. How do you feel about rolling us off on giving us a little introduction on what's going on in the market today? Why was it so important to summon this Zoom call, my boy?
Well, I think it's probably more important to leave that closer to the end, because that is more recent, and it is very important for you to know like what is going on and what to do and everything. So I want more people to hear that side of things, and I could just go through some of the other things I have kind of prepared for you guys to understand finance news in particular for the future, so you can have an idea what's going on in the future, in a month, in a 5 months, in 2 years, or whatever else, and you have more up to date understanding of what is going on. Because if I give the what's going on now, and everybody will come in later, they're gonna ask questions like, "Oh, what is going on? What do I do?" Da, 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 da. All this stuff. So I want to keep it for later.
And I just invited Big Mo to this chat. So if you guys want to bother him on Instagram to get him to come in here, go ahead right now and do that.
So yeah, I mean, we could probably start.
Does anyone, just to like warm it up here, about their own personal crypto portfolio? Maybe Patrick, I know that you're invested up. Does anyone have any questions about their own personal
Yeah,
portfolio at this moment?
Quick question for you guys. How are you feeling? Are you feeling like a little scared, a little tingly in your hands, seeing
I
the
mean,
portfolio?
I've been buying.
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
Pat.
TC. Go ahead. No,
Now go
sorry.
ahead,
Go
bro.
ahead. No. I've just been saying I've just been buying. It seems like it's just a big opportunity right now.
Yeah, good mindset.
Yeah,
Sorry. Go ahead, TC.
a couple years ago I probably would have been panicking, but I've seen my shit go down in terms of like what it was at, and now it's what it's at now. But like we've already kind of had a briefing and understand now that when the market goes down, that's not a time to panic. That's actually a time to kind of get savvy and start to buy up some crypto as it's down.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the top billionaires right now, right? All the billionaires that own the company, like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, their portfolios, since they're so tied to their company and most of their net worth is in that company, all of them have lost tens of billions of dollars in this like literally last few months or whatever. And the only person that is really up right now is Warren Buffett. And what he did was he kept a lot of cash around the end of last year or so. I don't remember exact time. But yeah, now he's just buying the bottoms and getting the good shit, at a very heavy discount. Like Nvidia, for example, one of the companies that got fucked by the tariffs because they work with chips. They're down, like, you can, if you buy right now, for example, and you hold it to the previous top, you just made 60%, which is really, really surprising for most companies. Like, that doesn't happen, especially for $1 trillion company. Like, that almost never happens. Those opportunities don't come up that often. And if you're prepared with cash, you can see those opportunities, take them. I mean, Nvidia is just one of many examples. There's many companies and even lesser known ones that have really good deals right now. And obviously, crypto is also sort of down. It's done quite well. I was surprised. I thought it was going to go to 78 or lower. And actually, in the past like half day, since like 12, it went down and then went back up to like 84. I think that's the last time I was looking, 83 and a half, which was surprising. But yeah, generally everything else is in the gutter. But yeah, yeah, I guess for now we could start some of the things that I have.
Big facts. I'm halfway through the invite, so let them trickle in as they trickle in. But yeah, I think it's a good time to keep moving forward, my boy.
Yeah. So I have basically main thing we're going to talk about is some of the economic calendar. So some of the events that happen every quarter that you should watch out for if you're invested in the markets, because those usually are predictable times where there's going to be news that could affect significantly the prices of everything. It could be crypto or financial markets, oil, and different things that you could be eventually investing. I'm not saying you are now, but in the future you might want to, diversify yourself and get yourself some U.S. stocks, some commodities like gold, oil, some maybe even some currencies. I don't really do currencies, but some people like it. And those economic events do dictate different markets, and some markets more than others at different times, depending on what are the news. So we're just gonna go through kind of those things. We're gonna go through how to understand news and what are important parts of news, basically, what they impact, and just how you can use it and how it applies to yourself and to different markets. So I think I'm gonna skip over inflation. Everybody knows that. GDP, probably everybody knows that as well. The one that came out today was unemployment rate, and those on the calendar is non-farm. That's what it's called, non-farm payroll. So those are usually, they come out every quarter, telling, or every quarter or every month. I'm not sure 100%, but it comes out and you can look at what is the previous month employment rate, right? And if that goes, significantly higher or significantly lower, that could obviously change the economy. So, like, usually you would look for around 4%, the unemployment rate, which is good in most markets. And if it goes to higher than that, usually that means obviously there's not enough creation of jobs, and there's usually tightening of the economy, of the companies, pulling out and not trying to employ more people, which is a sign that maybe in the future that will pick up the inflation, or it just depends on specifically what is going on that with other indicators, right? And so the one that came out today was actually pretty. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily super good, but it was steady. You know, it was a 4.2% unemployment rate. So, and it's been bouncing around 4 to 4.2, and the market didn't react at all. They didn't care today. It just kept falling, and most people are saying that basically it is because, oh, this one is okay, but the next unemployment, non-farm report is going to be terrible, and blah blah. And basically they ignored this one because the news weren't bad. Everybody's waiting for inflation to pick up, the economy to worsen, more unemployment, and just everything around being really bad. But that was good news in some way, but sometimes they get picked up, sometimes they're very important, sometimes it's not. It just depends on what other things that are going on. Another one that is super important is interest rates. So we have Federal Reserve that obviously cuts or basically cuts or raises the rates. And if anybody knows here or doesn't know, mostly what rates do is the central bank can give out better rates for banks, and then those banks can give out better rates for consumers. So if you want to buy a home or you want to buy, a car or whatever else, that rate, if they lower the rate, right, more people can borrow, and that will drive up the price. And also it affects financial markets because more money is flowing. That means usually the economy gets better and things like that, and more money can go into markets, more borrowing, and things like that. And if they obviously raise rates, it's going to be more difficult to borrow money, and completely opposite happens, right? And usually the Federal Reserve, there's something called FOMC meeting, which is the meeting of Federal Reserve, and they usually talk about inflation, interest rates, unemployment, all of these indicators or all these factors. And that one is literally the most important out of all of those reports. And whenever, let's say, you start trading, you do not want to trade during that time. So I'll give you guys later a website that you can look at the calendar when the events happen. And so yeah, you do not want to trade in that time because the market goes up or down, and the news could really change how everything is going. Like for example, on December, when they stopped cutting rates, right? They were saying, oh, we're gonna cut in 2025. We're gonna cut um, cut rates 4 times, and then they lowered it to two. The whole market panicked. Everything started dropping a lot, and so that's basically a very bad time to be in something at that time, right? Or trying to trade that time, because if the news were good, it would be going up. If they were continue cutting, if it was less, if they said, oh, we're not gonna cut at all, the market is going to crash. So you don't want to be in that position where you're about to try to go, try to make money on it going up or going down, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? And that one is the most of, like, usually it affects the market the most. You're going to see a lot of what is called volatility, which is basically a financial market or a chart going up and down a lot into any different direction. And that's what you don't want to experience. Okay. So, wait 1 second.
Appreciate where we're going with that, big dog. So I've just sent out the invites to the majority of the Brotherhood, and now I'm about to start sending out the YouTube link to people so they can see the thumbnail, so they have an idea of whether they want to pop in and hear us on YouTube or just jump in here, be a man, say it with their chest, And for everybody that turns your camera on, we do appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's important to get your mug out there and let people know who we're really dealing with. So you can choose to do that as you want to, if you want to. And that's a pretty cool way to get yourself out there when I start clipping this up and throwing it out there and marketing y'all boys. You know what I'm saying, big dog? Patrick, how are things going with your investments? And I know each and every one of you are invested up. I know TC, I know Julian, Omar, Mike. But Patrick, how are you doing so far? And are you going to be asking questions later in this round?
I'm doing good so far. I've just been buying. I've been taking like knowledge from Lewis and then just listening to Cultivate Crypto on YouTube, his free advice.
There you
Um,
go.
just pretty much just following like Lewis's rule. I got a good amount of the portfolio is in Bitcoin, but also like kind of branched off to Sui, Sonic. Hold on, let me take a look. But I just been buying this whole month, to be honest with you. So I'm just kind of just looking at it as a good opportunity. Lewis, are you available? Is he available?
Yeah, my bad. I'm just
Oh, okay.
drinking tea. It's a little strong. What's good? Tell me.
So I was listening to Cultivate Crypto's a YouTube
Yeah.
video today, and he was saying like kind of save your money right now until April, like the last week of April, going into the first week of March or May, sorry. Is there a reason why for that? I couldn't
Um.
understand why.
So, so two things. And I have to kind of agree. It is with crypto. We're seeing that it might be a little bit different from stock market, for example, because stock market is just plummeting like really bad. Crypto is trying to hold a support, right? So it might not be exactly um, how can I say this? It's a good advice in general, and I agree with it, and that's what I think as well. But at the same time, that could be not necessarily like you won't get the better price necessarily. Like there's a chance that crypto is actually going to be an asset that people flock to, but it is affected by news and what's going on. So two things that are going to happen. So first one is obviously all of these countries in the world, literally every country that Trump put tariff on, they're gonna decide in the upcoming weeks, or maybe a month and a half, or whatever. They're gonna decide what they're gonna do with tariffs, right? If they're gonna lower the tariffs and be better with the United States, or if they're gonna like raise the tariffs on United States or do something that is reciprocal like China did today. And so basically that is the first thing, right? So if you see, or if in the future, let's say next week, some country says like, or United Nations, for example, or Japan, or somebody that is a big player says, oh, we're not gonna lower tariffs on United States, we're gonna keep them the same way you're doing, or raise them. That creates, the market is probably going to react negatively, because obviously that means trade routes and different consumer products are going to be higher, and it could continue to be, United States can do even higher tariffs or many different things that can happen, and they usually take that as negative news, right? And the second thing is going to happen on May 6 or 7. I'm not 100% sure, but one of these days is going to be the Federal Reserve meeting. So the Federal Reserve meeting, the one I was just talking about, Jerome Powell, which is the Fed chairman, he's like the main guy there. He's going to come in, and most likely, if the inflation goes up, or they're worried about inflation going up, they're gonna probably increase the amount of rate cuts they're going to have until the end of the year. So right now it stands at two. One should be in summer and another one closer to the end of the year. But since of these tariffs happen, they're thinking there's about 70% chance, that's what people are saying, that they're gonna cut rates to or increase the rate cuts to four rate cuts. So probably, summer, then two in autumn and one in winter, something like that. Um, and so yeah, so if that happens, the stock market and crypto is going to recover. It's going to be a big recovering because usually when that happens, and especially in moments like this, it brings the market up because more money is flowing. It's easier to borrow. Other sectors go up in general because more buyers, and it's less scarce, or that's not the right word. Yeah, less scarce. So there's more money flowing, so the circulation of money expands, and that usually drives the market up, right? Because more people want to buy the thing. So yeah, those two events are gonna be, and the first one is kind of, you don't know. It could be tomorrow, it could be in a week, it could be in 2 weeks, and it could be very positive or very negative. If it continues to be negative, countries like China, right? If countries are gonna be more like China, and more of them gonna be like that, we're gonna find a new low. We're gonna go lower than we were before, which is pretty bad. But you get a better price. But if that happens to be positive, then you might miss an entry that is good right now. It might continue to revert and go back up, which you won't lose that much on the difference. But I would just stay cash for now, at least for a couple of weeks, to see what's going to happen and what's going to end up. These countries, what they're going to propose and say that they're doing. I know we're getting a little ahead, but Vietnam said yes, they're going to lower the tariffs. China said we're going to do reflective, which is 34%, because the United States put 34 on them. European Union is saying we're gonna devise and talk with the United States to try to solve this problem. Canada is putting also a bigger, what's it called, bigger tariff on US. So yeah, some countries are saying yes, we're gonna work with you. Some countries are saying fuck you. So it just depends. Like, if more countries will influence negatively, more other countries are gonna fight with it. If it's less countries like Vietnam, for example, saying yes, if other countries, Japan and other countries are gonna say yes, then China will cave in, because obviously we can start working with other countries and bypass China. And then they're gonna lose a lot of money that's coming from US, right? Because we're the biggest importers in the world. We spend trillions of dollars every year on different products to get them into the United States. So if people don't work with us, they lose a lot of money.
Big facts. And welcome in, brother Jude. Haven't seen you for a long time, but it's good to have a Castle Club original in here. And Sammy, I see you, man. We're gonna go around and have you guys ask questions in a short while.
Yeah,
Yo,
so
what's up? What's up, guys? Yo, yeah,
yeah,
put season, put printing, huh? Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah,
We're
man.
about to talk about all the blood in the markets, my boy. And
Yo,
Sammy, Jude is from Miami, yo, boys. If you haven't got a chance to meet him yet, he's a Castle Club original. And then Sammy's coming in all the way from Canada. If you don't know Jude, welcome to your brother in Canada.
What's good, bro? What's good with you?
was good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
so
anybody print today?
yeah,
If you
I made some money.
if you guys don't know, Jude is like a trader. All he does is trade day and night on markets, all day, all night. That's all he does. So when we get to you, my boy, and we will pass the mic to you in just a moment here. But right now we're going on with Lou. But we're excited to see what you were talking about. All right.
For sure. All right.
Yeah, so Jude probably knows this, but I'm going over some of the news and how it affects financial markets, different economic calendars, and just different events that happen. And since you're a trader, you probably know all of this because it's so important in trading. But yeah, So I went over obviously interest rate, unemployment rate. Everybody
Very
knows
important.
inflation. Everybody knows GDP. So there's another one that's called consumer confidence, and that basically surveys people and to see how optimistic consumers are about the economy in general. And high confidence obviously increased spending, a lot more money is flowing, the economy is getting better, things like that. The low consumer confidence, especially when it's a lot of inflation, it could confirm different inflation periods and confirm that less money is going to be flowing, so businesses are not going to do as well, companies are not going to make as much money, and etc. So that one is does affect the markets, but not as much as like Federal Reserve meeting or something similar to that, or inflation reports. It's a good one as well, so you want to watch out for that one as well. um so I can also talk about earnings in general, just so you guys know for the future if you do decide to trade or invest in companies. So everybody on most U.S. companies that are publicly traded, or pretty much all of them, have earnings reports every quarter that explain, oh, we made this much money, this is how much we spend, this is what our basically EPS is, and they show growth mostly. So the difference between the last one and this one, if it keeps growing, everything is better than last time. A lot of the times this is going to push the company stock a lot. That could be 10, 15%, 20, 25%. So usually that doesn't happen to most companies on normal days. But those events can have huge difference in how the company is doing and how the stock is going to do. So if they have a negative report, they can have many months after that that are negative, or if it's positive, it could be many months after that that are positive. But yeah, hold on one second, let me tell.
And while
All
we
right.
got Lewis pause, go ahead and go take it away, Jude.
So I really enjoyed how we have Lewis here talking about a lot of the in-depth fundamentals. I'd say, like, that drive, the ebbs and the flows of everything that goes on, right? So I have to give it to Lewis for doing a good job.
Appreciate that, my boy. We're gonna
Yes,
pass the mic
sir.
again to you in just a moment. Please take your notes, get your bullet points ready. Lewis, take it away, my boy.
Or wait,
Yeah.
is he back? Oh, okay, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm back. Sorry about that. So yeah, another thing could be, I'll go over quickly. This is related to mostly stocks, but it could affect companies that hold Bitcoin, for example, like or Bitcoin traded companies, or companies that like Coinbase, for example, is a company that is, the price is very related to Bitcoin, but it's also driven by the company's revenue and other things that come into that. So it could deviate from the price of Bitcoin at some point, right? So if you have big mergers or acquisitions, this is also good for certain coins as well. Like there was a merger before of three companies, AI coins that are merged together into one, and that drove the price at some point. I don't remember the names of them, but this could happen in those markets as well, right? So big acquisitions, when a big company is buying a small one or they're merging together, those can drive the price high, right?
Right.
Also, another one is if somebody is a CEO and it's a bad CEO or a good CEO, them retiring or changing CEO could either save a company or make it go down the shitter. Basically, it just depends on what is going on specifically with that person and the company itself. But yeah, those are kind of the most important, and obviously new products or new services that they come out, new technology that could change what's going to happen, or could change. For example, let's say Tesla company coming out with robots and different taxi cars and etc. that are new and that could drive the price in the future to, or drive the market cap of the company in the future. And that could obviously boost the stock right now and in the future, right? As more people, as that technology is being used more, they could be more people will be interested in the company. Okay. Some other
Yep.
thing. Yeah.
Louis, I wanted to ask you something. So do you actually trade like options?
Yeah, I trade options, I trade stocks, and I invest in crypto.
So this might
More
actually be
longer
an
term.
interesting middle point. Why don't we open up a brief dialogue between Lewis and Jude while you still got your bullet points, Lewis? We got more brothers coming in. And of course, Logan and Kazra just joined in. So like I said, everybody feel free to ask more questions as we got the brothers about to have a little side chat about options and a few other things as we keep going down this crypto emergency state of being. Lewis and Jude, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, so I wanted to segue in a little bit into like derivatives trading.
And just quick side note, Jude has made over $250,000 from trading options. Kid really knows what's up.
in
Yes,
one
sir.
in one trading session.
Yep,
That was
big
pretty
facts.
Crazy.
yeah. So guys, so right now we had a really fucking crazy day. I'm not sure if you guys like looked at like what happened in the past like 24 hours, but my God, that was a lot. So we had a like very volatile situation, right? Pretty much we had like Lewis was saying, we had like a change in like the like economic format of like the way the world works, and things need to readjust and stuff, right? So right now it's actually like a time where we have the implied volatility, which is something that is like insane. It's like a metric that calculates like how volatile like a price asset is going to be in a relative like period of time. So really you have like this metric that controls the price fluctuation of the value of like said financial derivative, which is like, let's say right now, if you guys don't know what a put option is, that's what I said was printing today. The put options printed like 2,500% today. Like this is in 24 hours. You know, like $1 turned into 25. Okay, in 24 hours. This is insane. Okay, this is insane. But there's a reason why, and the reason why that is because we did have like the implied volatility explode, like we saw in the like. I'm not sure if you guys heard of this, but it's called the VIX index, right? So the VIX index just shot the fuck up and went crazy. I actually looked at it yesterday before the like tariff stuff happened, and like it was like looking like it was gonna go crazy, and dude, that shit went nuts today, dude.
How do you turn $1 into $25 researching the VIX index?
So pretty much like you just look at, I mean, I look at the technical analysis of all the charts and stuff. Like I keep up with it and stuff, but it kind of comes to a point where like something today, right? that happened, or actually no, something that happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. I was actually talking to my follower about this. I was talking about how today, or no, I'm sorry, yesterday we had like the break of the trend to the downside. Like what's it called? We basically broke the equal low that we could have made, right? To maybe solidify like a double bottom in the price action of the S&P and the QQQ Nasdaq index, whatever. And pretty much we basically invalidated that setup. So we got a confirmation of a confirmed like lower low in the new now formed confirmed downtrend, because now there's two confirmed highs and two confirmed lows on the daily chart. If you like use Japanese like candlesticks, which is like the norm of of
Fantastic.
charting.
So, Jude, I'm going to pause you right there and we're going to keep going, but I'm going to have, because right now, I'm glad they're getting a chance to listen and also get a chance to introduce yourself to Julian in Michigan, Patrick in Hawaii, Sam in Canada, TC in Massachusetts, Mike in New York, Omar in New York, Logan all over the place, and Kaz in North Carolina. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to pause what you're saying. I'm going to let Lewis interpret it, because right now they're used to hearing Lewis's way of conveying the information, and we're going to have a back and forth between the two of you guys as I pass the mic between the two of you. But
Okay.
thank you for making those points, because those are things that we're going to be picking your mind about. So please stay on the call, my boy. Lewis, can you interpret that information and reconvey what we're talking about here?
Well, we've been in a downtrend for a bit now, since all the news, and yesterday was just really big news, biggest sell-off since 2020, and
No, like,
so like,
but I'm saying like the on the daily like time frame is what I'm saying. Like right now,
yeah,
like today what I'm saying is if you looked at the daily time frame, there was now like on the macro, like when I say the daily time frame, I'm saying if you look, like if you were to go on your Webull phone app, like, and you check the Nasdaq, right, or the S&P, you would basically look at how prior to or like before, yeah, like 20, okay, right when 2025 happened, we hit our high, right? We hit our last all-time high, before we started to be on this, down, or now confirmed downtrend, right? Hindsight is 2020. Everything from the past like month, nobody could have told you, oh yeah, the S&P is just gonna pull back 10% in 2 days. So it's like it's like a black swan type of like fucking event occurrence. So
Appreciate that, brother Jude. Give us one moment, brother Lewis. How do you interpret that?
Sorry.
no, you're good. Yeah, I was just gonna add to what you're saying. I wasn't trying to do anything with that, but yeah, what he was talking about mostly is VIX index is super important. Obviously, this shows you the volatility means, like I was explaining before, is how much and how fast a certain asset moves. And so on days with big news or um, big events that happen, the VIX goes up, which means it could go really high up, really high down, and those days are usually, you can, like he was saying, you can make a lot of money in those days if you catch the right moments, especially during trading, especially doing options. What he was talking about, options is leveraged trading, so you can have $2,000 and turn that into $4,000 in a matter of hours. But it is very risky. And I wouldn't necessarily tell anybody to go into that yet. You should learn more and understand technical analysis. Um, he will probably tell you it's a good thing. I do options myself. The screenshot I sent today was from an option trade. That was I used 15K, made 3K in like few hours, pretty much, which is a good amount. But it's obviously the worst case scenario is you lose 15K. That is it. Options, the way they work is there's many different aspects to them, and one of them is called theta, which is a there's like 4 or 6 different Greeks that affect the price of an option. So if time ends, which is theta, so let's say you buy an option for a certain like 30 days or whatever, and if that time runs out, you lose all the money that you put in. So if you put 30,000 and the time runs out, you lose 30,000. So, but you could make crazy returns, right? You can put 30,000 and make 150,000 in like a week. It's the potential return is uncapped and infinite, but the downside, you lose all the money if you do decide to wait until the what is called an expiration date. But I don't want to go into options yet for you guys. It's a more complex. If you want to do something with stocks, you should start with buying shares. They're not leveraged. You're using your own money, and options are very leveraged, and you're gonna burn yourself unless you use it in a smart way. And there's different applications of options, and it's a really good tool to get yourself into different situations. Like for example, if you have stocks, basically, if you have shares of a company, and that company, let's say you've made a ton of money on it, and now you're fearing that the price is going to go down, you can buy what he said, put options. And basically, if the company goes down, if the price of the company goes down and your shares go down in value, you're still going to make money on the option puts, and you can sell the option puts later. And now you ended up with basically a lower average price, kind of. You made some money that is in your pocket that you can, let's say, buy again the shares, or you could just keep it, and now it's going to take you less time to get back to zero or to profit where you were. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that because it's more complex, and you guys should spend some time understanding other things first. He's kind of jumping ahead because probably very excited, and he likes that stuff, which is it's a good vehicle that you should learn in the future. But it is not for this call because you guys are just starting, and that is an overwhelming. It's like stocks on steroids. You
Big
can talk
facts.
to him
So
about it if
I
you.
I I just put Brother Jude's phone number in the chat if you guys would like to reach out to him. He is actually a very advanced trader. He is I believe 20 years old now, 19 or 20 years old. He did make $250,000 one trade, and he does know a lot about tricks of the trade. So if you have patience for the way in which he can convey information to you, I put his phone number in the chat. And you guys can reach out to him. And I muted him and I said, come back when you can. But he's definitely a brother that's always zooted. On another note, go ahead, my boy Lewis, and take it away as we go into the next part of this segment here.
Yeah. So what I want to go over is a few things that you want to look for. So investor sentiment. So what people think about the market and how the different news affect the market, right? If you have inflation news or a bad Federal Reserve meeting, or unemployment is high, or things like just happened, or people being scared of the markets like it is now, people start to pull out their money, start to sell the different assets that they have, and run to treasury bonds. They run to gold. Sometimes they run to crypto as well, depending on the. I mean, it was more true before. Now it might be becoming true again but because of a lot of the price of Bitcoin now is affected by different companies that hold Bitcoin, it does get affected by financial news, just like stocks most of the time. And so, whenever you see the stock market crashing, a lot of the times you're going to see crypto crashing as well, right? Those do affect because now it's big enough, and soon it will be really close to how stocks move, because all the big companies are going to have a big stake in it, and it's going to be another way of diversifying their income for higher volatility, higher return asset, right? So they're gonna, but usually will probably move similar, right? We either gonna go the way gold is, which is like a safe haven, safe. If the market is down, you buy gold type of way, or we're gonna go really similar to the stock. So any financial big news that happen will affect the price of Bitcoin as well. But yeah, so obviously, depending on the expectation and what the investors are thinking, is how long the process of going down or going up will be, right? If everybody is getting greedy and it is getting like, oh, this is never going to stop, we're just making so much money, and it's keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, right? Everybody's very confident, and that will keep driving the price because uh, newer buyers are coming in all the time, right? But when it starts to crash, especially after a period that we had, which was just a higher high, higher high, higher high, for like a year straight. So since then, it crashed a lot, and people started panicking, pull out the money, and now negative news came out with it as well. So that kept crashing and crashing and crashing, and people start to get more and more afraid. And you can look at online fear and greed index to kind of taste and see how well, um, how confident are people, and if the market is gonna keep going up or it's gonna reverse or crash and things like that. Usually, when the fear greed index goes too much to one side, it usually gonna start to reverse the opposite way. So like if it's really fearful, which I bet I haven't looked at it yet today, but I bet it is in fear right now. It's in complete fear. So when that happens for a longer period of time, it usually will reverse and then go into full greed, where it's just printing and getting better and better, newer highs all the time. And that's how you know, oh shit, we're probably close to the top. And so you should start taking profits from it, start to keep some cash so you can get in once it starts crashing like it is now, right? Um okay. So another thing that is important for you guys to know, the reason why all these news have big effect on the market and it moves the market a lot is because now there's a lot of pretty much all the big firms use algorithmic trading, and those systems work on newsletters and new news that come out, so they can understand what is going on, and depending on the news they can drive the market with billions of dollars up or down. So that's why I recommend to stay away. As for now, for you guys are beginners, you could catch some good plays once you understand news, once you understand what is happening in the economy week to week, day to day. You can use news to make yourself a lot of money, right? You could catch certain moments where it's gonna crash or it's gonna go up. Like if you're sure that, let's say, the Federal Reserve is going to start cutting rates, right? And you know that brings the market up, you can use that to get yourself into a position where you know it's probably going to go up, right? But obviously, you're putting yourself in a situation where there is more risk, and you have to be careful of that, because obviously, I don't want you to be in a situation where you're so greedy that you're trying to get as much money as possible as fast as possible, and then you burn yourself and you lose a whole account that you worked for in a real job for many years or many months, and you just waste all that money and you worked for free, basically. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation, right? You want to be more safe. It's better to be safe and take a little bit longer, and that way you don't waste the time and you don't pay that much for mistakes, right? That's the big thing. It's good, like it's good to see, like for example, that guy, I'm happy he made 250K in one trade
Jude is
off
in the
of an.
chat. His mic is muted, and we will bring you up in a moment after everyone gets to ask their questions. We're in the question portion, and you can go ahead and
Yeah,
add into some of these questions later, my boy Jude.
so I'm happy for that to happen, but obviously that is a higher level, so you guys don't necessarily want to jump into that because you want to learn more first, and you're going to make mistakes. So if you don't put yourself in a situation where you're using all of your money and throwing it and just hoping to make money, that way your mistakes are going to be less costly and you can lose less money and learn the same lessons you would learn if you threw all your money at once, right? So if that's how you want to go about it as you're a beginner, right? With time you can, start bringing more money, start getting into more risky things, and because you're going to know what is going to happen, and or you're going to understand better what is happening and what might happen as well, right? But yeah, pretty much. I mean, I went through most things. I think obviously look for, there's certain newsletters that you can subscribe to if you want to, especially if you trade. It's very important because you're gonna get the news faster. So certain streams you can watch that can give out news faster than most people get them or most traders do. But yeah, watch out for economic downturns. What's happening with different countries? What is U.S. doing? The new laws that they come out with, like for example, the tariff, right? Is a big change to trading. I mean, the worldwide trading basically, and that obviously affects many economies and different markets as well. So things like that, like interest rates, very important. So watch out for all those things and pay attention. And once you have an idea how everything could, how a news could affect different like indicators like inflation or unemployment or consumer confidence or different things like that, you will have a better idea of how the specific news affect the market itself. And obviously watch for the reaction of the market. The market will tell you sometimes there's times where it is bad news, like literally bad report, but the market goes up, or the opposite. It just depends on the way people think in that moment. Like we had a good, like I said before, we had good unemployment report. I mean, somewhat good. It's not too much better, but it's not getting worse yet. So, but the market didn't react. We kept selling off and we kept dropping. So because those news aren't as important or not as big of an indicator compared to, let's say, tariffs and what is happening with with China and big countries and generally the world trading. Right. So yeah, that's kind of the base of everything. And if you look up financial calendar on Google, you just type financial calendar. It's literally the first website. It says U.S. Financial calendar. You could see different times and different days that there's going to be big finance news. And let's say you don't understand something, search it up. What does that mean? And the most important, I would say, usually is FOMC meeting, which is the Federal Reserve meeting. Those move the market the most, but the rest of them also have some effect on the market, and it just depends on the situation. So with using this calendar, you could see, okay, tomorrow there's going to be a meeting about this, or there's going to be a report at this time. So if you want to, let's say, trade, or you want to, you have cash and you want to buy at some point, you want to look at the different calendar. Maybe in 2 days there's a big report or a big, let's say, FOMC meeting. So you would want to wait a little bit and see how that goes and if that's positive or not. You don't necessarily want to front run news as you're beginning these things, because you're not going to necessarily have a full understanding on what's happening and how that report is going to affect the market. So you want to take yourself at a slow pace and try to wait for those resolutions when it comes to financial calendar and obviously the news. If there is, for example, before April, I was telling you guys, okay, wait for April 2nd. The tariffs are going to come out, and we're going to see what's going to happen with the market, right? If you bought at that time, you would be down significantly. I mean, not Bitcoin, not as much, but let's say you bought stocks, you would be down significantly. So you want to wait for those moments and see what is the news going to be and figure out, okay, how does this affect the market in general. But yeah, that's all I have pretty much for today.
Big facts. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go around and ask the 6 brothers that are on this phone call a question. It'll go Sammy, Patrick, TC, Mike, Omar, Kazra, where each and every one of you can ask a question to Lewis based on everything that we just talked about. And if you have any questions specifically for Brother Jude, you can go ahead and ask Brother Jude. And then after a round of questions, we're going to open up a dialogue between Lewis and Jude. But let's start off with Sammy. Brother Sammy, go ahead and ask any questions that you have based on the current market, based on the tariffs, based on the changing economy, everything that Lewis said. What kind of questions do you have coming from the great country of Canada, my boy?
Yeah, Chris, I have no question. Right now, I'm currently working. Yeah, right now I'm working.
You have a question right now, you're working?
No question right now. I'm working right now. I'm working.
All right, brother man, stay tuned in. No problem.
I'm just listening.
We appreciate that. Trust me, we really do. Brother Patrick, how about yourself?
It's more maybe like just general advice. So with what I was telling you about like buying or what we were talking about as far as like the last week of April and first week of May, should I just keep buying or should I kind of just like stack up a little bit more and kind of wait for the end of the month?
I would say you should probably wait at least a week to see what the countries are going to say. And if you really your hands are itching, buy, but not with all your money. Buy with a little amount, so you could still get, if if it goes down, you could get a better price later on as well. But I would wait at least a week and a half to see what the countries come out. If a lot of them are gonna fight and gonna do reciprocal tariffs and high tariffs, it's probably we're gonna go even lower, and you don't really know where it's gonna be the bottom. So it could be soon by the end of the month, or it could be a few months from now, depending on how bad is the reaction to these tariffs.
Got it. Thank you.
And then Brother TC coming all the way in from Massachusetts, my boy. Do you have any questions for Brother Lewis or Brother Jude? Jude and Lewis will be going off into a conversation soon. But what have you got for us, my boy?
What's good, fellas? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, Louis, like I said, I have about a little over 6K invested into crypto in general, but that was earlier this year, or last year rather, like around when it was from like 85 to 90K. Obviously, it took a dip, so I took a hit. What do you suggest I take for the next step? Like, should I just wait it out? Should I pull out money, reinvest? Like, what should I do next?
Yeah, I mean, same advice as Patrick. If you can stack up more, you got I mean, 90K is a little bit hot water, but 80K is okay. That's not, we're probably, even if we go down, we're probably gonna go to low 70s. That's probably gonna be the bottom for Bitcoin. But yeah, like the lowest that it will go is like the previous top of when it was last cycle, at 68, but probably not even gonna get there, most likely. But so if you got most of it in around 80, then you're probably good. Just wait a little bit, see what the news come out, and you could get yourself in again once it clears up a little bit, because the top is going to be, over 120, over probably around 180, 150. Nobody really knows, but it's probably going at least to 150 by the
Okay.
end of the year. If all of this clears out, it's gonna be good. Like the
So when
faster
do
it will
you?
go away.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
Yeah, no, good. You go ahead.
So when do you think? So I'm kind of in the same boat as Patrick in terms of questioning when to buy. So like, obviously, I heard you say the date around later April, early May. Is that like, is there a date range where we can kind of start throwing
Um,
in money?
So, like I said, you should wait at least a week and a half to see what's happening with the countries, and also on May 6 to 7. I don't remember which day exactly, but it's going to be the Federal Reserve meeting, and they're probably going to talk about either cutting more rates or not. And if they do cut rates, we might start to try to reverse or find a bottom and try to reverse from there. So it just depends on that. So if you really are not itching and you can save up more money, then wait until May 6, May 7. If you want to buy something and you're still gonna have more income coming and more money, then you can purchase a little bit like in the next week or so.
Okay.
Big facts, brother TC. I really appreciate you, man. Chief Rucka, I do see you. We're asking
Can I
rounds
do,
of questions now.
Chris? Can I direct one more question to Jude,
Of
or kind of
course,
like
yo,
with a statement?
TC, go ahead, my boy.
So Jude is good, brother. I never got to meet you, but my name is TC or whatever. Shout out to you on your big games as of late. That's really good. My nephew, I'm not even gonna ask a question. I'm just gonna kind of give you a little spiel. My nephew actually is into trading, and he's been trying to he's been ahead of the curve. Like he's been doing it since he was in high school. He just moved to Puerto Rico based off of the revenue that he made in trading, just period. Like he hasn't worked a day out of high school. He was telling everybody like, "Yo, get on it, get on it." Nobody was listening to him. Now he's probably around your age, like 19, 20, and he's living in Puerto Rico right now. Has a fire ass BMW, doing his damn thing. So obviously, it takes a lot of time to be versed in it because he was doing it since his like junior or sophomore year and just been dove in it. So he's kind of been versed in it for a little while. So shout out to you, man, because I know the type of time and effort it takes to be versed in that and to do what you guys are doing. So shout out to you, bro.
Yo, I'm just gonna say like that sounds literally like exactly uh like how I got into like wanting to like trade options. Like honestly, dude, I'm gonna tell you, I started literally at okay. So my dad, I asked him to open up this or well my Robinhood account that I started trading on to want to like flip some money that I wanted to make into more money. So that always like I thought was a good idea to like want to go and do at a fucking at high school, like when all my like peers are like in my class. I was actually selling shoes, right? I sold shoes like Yeezys and Jordan 1 and Off-White, all this like hype stuff, like Supreme like hoodies and stuff, like just reselling hype shit. And I wanted to flip that money into like more money, and it's like what I wanted to do because when I did it the first time I fucking felt amazing, and like I just wanted to do that shit for the rest of my life. So that's kind of like why I never stopped whenever like I was like in a drawdown or whatever, like if like I lose like money like more than you make like for a fucking long period of time, and then like you just like make it back because like you just take so many losses at some point. Like if you keep with your same size, you'll hopefully get like okay, with me the way that I traded and the way that like I kind of did that, like the big game like that that he's telling you about. Uh, I went and I did it with options that were very risky. And you see, like, even though they're really risky, I use like that money that I have that I want to put forth and actually, have to work for me. I consider all the money that I put to use, like let's say in an option trade, like that is so high risk. I consider that money completely gone, right? Like the moment that I put it to use, right? And if it comes back to me, right, I expect that to come back at least like fivefold if I'm gonna risk everything that I have into it. So really, that's like the goal, like that you want to do, and if you can do that over like a period of time consecutively, like, dude, like it only takes if you use like a majority of like your capital, like it's honestly what I did. I
So
actually don't want you
what you're
guys to
saying
do.
right there, my boy Jude, is perfect. And we're gonna just keep asking questions because some of these guys got to go in a little bit. But I hope you're feeling a little bit more warmed up because what you're saying is perfect. You feel like you took a little bit more risk. You're expecting money to come back. Thank you for answering that for TC. We're gonna ask Omar, Kazra, Chief Rocka, and Mike some questions. Let them ask, and then we're gonna have you and Lewis go back and forth. And how I'm gonna do that is Lewis is actually gonna ask you some questions. So I hope that you're ready, my guy. Get your mind in the ringer because we're gonna pick your brain a little bit. All right.
For sure.
Appreciate that, my boy. Brother Omar, go ahead and lock in with us, my dude. Are you still getting your haircut? How you looking over there in New Yiddy?
No. I'm back at the crib right now. Just getting a haircut real quick. But nah, I'm just, enjoying everything y'all saying. There's a lot of good information. That's why I've been sitting back being quiet because I'm like, when you sit back and you just listen, you learn so much. Like, I don't have any questions at all. I have nothing to say because you guys are providing so much value and so much knowledge. So I'm just soaking it up. And the dude that was just talking, what's his name? Judith?
Dude,
Jude.
like from the Bible.
Jude? Jude, like from the Bible. Yo, brother, it's nice to meet you, man. My name is Omar from
What's good?
NYC. How you
Yo,
doing,
big
man? Everything's
facts,
good with
man.
you?
Oh yeah, bro. Dude, today was like pretty wild day. I mean, I, I'm pretty hyped, yeah. Pretty hyped for the bear
Yeah, I can
market.
hear it, man. I can hear it in your voice, man. Good luck out there, guys, and keep me posted. I'm gonna definitely be in the Zoom call, and he's been taking notes, so you guys can pass from me because we don't have any questions at the moment.
Nah, dude, I appreciate your outlook on life. That fly in the wall method is something that does get you far. I use it myself here and there, and my boy TC was demonstrating how effective that can be. So I appreciate that, TC. My boy Kazra, how are you doing, my G? Can you hear us, big dog?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yo, you rich motherfucker. We know you a villain, bro. You arch nemesis of James Bond. How you doing, my boy? Do you have any questions for our speakers today?
No, I don't have any questions. Just been listening in, taking on what they're saying and shit. They seem pretty informative about the crypto aspect. Do appreciate that. And like what was talking about today and stuff. So that shit was pretty dope. Some valuable information these guys have right here.
Big facts, man. And then on top of that, check this out. Right before we get to you, Chief Rocka, I imagine actual brother Mikey has had some questions because he was very diligent about listening to this Zoom call and getting in on the Zoom call. So, brother Mike, do you have any questions or statements you'd like to make at the moment, my boy?
On me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh,
Can you
what's
hear us,
up,
big
bro?
dog?
Yeah, I hear
So,
you.
did you hear what I said, or would you like me to repeat it?
Yeah, repeat, my bad.
All right, so I said, you yourself, Mikey, you've actually been very diligent about being on this call. So I imagine that you might actually have some questions for Brother Lewis or Jude at the moment. Do you have any questions or statements for the speakers at this time?
Um, I don't got any questions. I just thank guys for doing the call tonight again.
Appreciate that, brother, man. And Chief Rocka, right before we have Lewis ask Jude a round of questions, do you have any questions as crypto is concerned? You know that we have an actual call coming up, my boy. And Omar, I have not forgotten about you, trust me. But do you have any questions, Chief Rocka, at this moment based on crypto or the state of tariffs at this time?
Not at the moment, guys. I'm actually grocery shopping right now, so I'm just listening.
That being said, I appreciate the 6 listeners that are on the call. We do have more coming in and out. There's been a total of, I believe, 12 to 15 today so far. But my boy Lewis, go ahead, man. Pick this guy's brain on options, stock investing, crypto portfolios. I give the floor to you. Let's hear what y'all boys got to talk about. Let's go.
Yeah. So let's ask you a question about I think that everybody could use or learn from, so they don't have to spend money to lose the money to learn it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So what is the most recurring kind of mistake that you do that has been difficult for you to fix or that you had problems with before, in trading? Because I know
So
a lot of
so
mistakes keep repeating in general, and you know.
the number one thing that I definitely see there to be a problem with uh like some of my trading is I like to sometimes oversize on 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 one opportunity that will jeopardize the capital at risk, like by too much of like a percent of like a risk of ruin to the entire amount of money that is in the account. So like let's say like sometimes you get really, or well, for me at least, I definitely get super like greedy for this one opportunity, and usually like okay, yeah, when we do that, like we take more risk to make a bigger or like a greater like return, right? But like sometimes you kind of let that calculation of what you're gonna like gain outweigh what it is you're actually putting at risk, like completely. Like you just like are just so hungry, and you just like can't satiate it. But honestly, I noticed that like actually curving like the need to take an excess amount of risk in any one position actually makes way for opportunity to actually come in at a greater scale. So like honestly, it's just like the one itis of fucking opportunity. It's just like that's what I'd say is really a fucking something that is just fucked, bro. Like you just want to stay away from that, and that's like if you like really stay away from that, like if you can stay away from that, I feel like literally everything else is just gonna just fall into place at that point. Like if you just literally just stick to like correct position sizing, and you just keep at it and you never stop, you'll just be fucking rich as
So
fuck.
would you say after consistent wins, would you say you start oversizing and
Oh yeah,
increasing
that's
your position
that,
size to the point where it's too much risk, and if you're wrong, you could wipe out a certain amount of wins that you've had before?
right. The like when we talk about risk of ruin, like bro, like dude, sometimes like let's say you start with a small amount of capital, right? Let's say you start with fucking $800, right? Or $750. If you start with $750, right? You put that on one thing, right? I mean, you put that into like one option play, right? You're like already like fucking fucked if it goes wrong once, right? You're just out of that $750. And if that's all you have, right? It's like um it's like you have no room to like make up for that one loss if you put in like all of your capital that you have and you fucking just lose. I mean it's common sense, right? But it's like sometimes you just get greedy for that opportunity, and you just do it, and then you're like, oh fuck, like what, if you like, okay, yeah, if you win, it's like fucking amazing, right? Like you're gonna make a lot of money. But bro, it's like you fucking lose once, and then you just have to fucking go like work for the fucking money again, and then you realize it's fucking not worth it, and then you just end up regretting that decision, and then just not wanting to come back to trading because you just have a bad taste in your mouth, and that's just fucked. Like that's just bad habits. Yeah.
I want to add to that. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys. Like, you want to, as a beginner, use less money. That way, your mistakes, you can figure out your mistakes faster and you lose less money to learn those lessons. So,
Right.
once you understand better and you're more experienced, then you can start, increasing size and understand what is going on better. And, then you will know, okay, I can put 30% onto this play or 10% on this play because it's more risky, or 15 on this one because it's less risky and I'm more certain into what's going to happen, and etc. So that way, in the beginning, since you don't know much, you want to learn for the most like cheapest possible way to learn,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
that's why
Honestly,
there's,
yeah,
for
that's honestly the
example,
best way you
there's
can go about it.
hold on one sec. There's also like paper trading where you could. It's not exactly amazing because you're not gonna feel the same way as putting real money, but it's a good way to learn the mechanics and maybe technical analysis and have an idea what's happening and maybe where you're correct or where you're making some mistakes. And that way you're not paying anything, right? It's fake money. Paper trading is literally fake money. Um, it's it's proper what is happening on the chart, but it's fake money. So you can make as many mistakes as possible, and you won't lose any of your capital that you worked hard for. So that's where I would start. That's where I started. Maybe Jude as well started at that point, or maybe he started with a small amount and grew it there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that's what you want to do in the beginning.
okay, so I definitely think that paper trading is great to like I guess like learn like the platform like first, like how to buy and sell, like so you don't have to actually make real orders, but outside of like learning a platform like and how like to do that, I definitely think using like small amounts of capital in like the real market where you can like get a feeling of like what it's like to actually like see your account like fluctuate like through a real trade, like how it goes, and what your emotions are like as you're like tied up into it, so like you can just like train yourself to like stomach like at least regular like trade, like just the flow of like the market, like like up and down and intraday like stuff if you're going to be like day trading, and like I mean I guess that's like a whole nother thing, but I mean at least for me that's how I kind of started with the author.
Yeah, I think with paper trading, it didn't necessarily work for me that well because I was kind of careless when I was trading with paper trading because it doesn't feel real.
No,
But
yeah,
once you put
that's the point.
once
Yeah.
yeah, once you put real money, then especially if it's you worked, let's say, 2 weeks for that money and you're putting it on the market and you're down at it, maybe you were wrong, and now it feels real. Now you're getting nervous. Now you're
Yeah.
having maybe fear or greed because you're winning, and that really affects how you mentally make decisions. And that's where you want to like kind of start in a sense where you're gonna feel really how it is it to be in the markets, because the emotions, especially in trading, is the main factor of somebody winning or losing. They might be correct on the technical analysis, but they might be just getting themselves out too early, or staying in too long, or putting too much into it, or putting too little into it, or risking too much, or many different problems that people have. And yeah, and once you start with a small amount, you can kind of feel what those things are and progress with time. And the more mistakes you kind of realize, and you could see, oh, I repeat this all the time. Whenever I have this happen, this is how I feel, and because of that feeling, I act this way. And with the faster you can identify and fix those mistakes, the faster you will be making money off of this and more consistent money.
Yeah, I definitely think that going that route is the way to go. Honestly, yeah. It's a different feeling to really have a live trade on it. It just hits dopamine and just tests you. Ultimately, it's like the ultimate test. So I definitely, if you want to get into like trading for real, I would start first with the with the small amounts of capital in the like option market. I'd be like, just single contract sizing, like just I'd say, just so, like, if you guys never traded options before, and you guys only have like traded crypto, I definitely suggest that you guys learn about the option trading and how you can magnify your return by taking like more risk, but controlling that and actually executing those trades that are positive, risk to reward, worth it. Like, some trades that, like, if you only take trades that you fucking find that can net you like fucking 5x for one fucking uh risk sample, it's like you just want to do that. Like, you just want to give fucking up $1. Like, bro, you want to find opportunities. Like, they're actually really rare, right? Like, they don't happen perfectly, like super often every day, like, that are honestly like some 50-50 stuff. But on like binary news events like these, like, I'm talking like these Jerome, like how Lewis was talking, like, the FOMC stuff and the fucking Trump tariff fucking events, all this stuff that has that volatility cooked into it. Those plays are essentially like as close as you're going to get to a fucking coin toss, right? And those are truly those opportunities that like are pivotal, that you want to be into, whether like you're right or not. Bro, it's fucking worth it to know that, bro, if you went in and risked that $1, you were gonna get like at least like 5 back, or fucking 7 back, or
And
8,
brother
or
Jude,
maybe
while
10.
Lewis is about to ask you another question, would you mind dropping your Instagram in the chat so the brothers could give you a follow?
Okay, it's 1024 underscore up.
1024 underscore UP.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I remember. There's like no photos on that one, right? It's just like just the profile.
Just write it down in chat.
I wrote it down. All right, go ahead, Lewis. What's your next question, my boy?
Honestly, I'm still kind of thinking about what I can ask. Let me just ask you, just so I have better understanding. Do you trade you obviously trade options, but do you just do long long calls and put options, or do straddles or any of more complex kind of options, or do you do just a simple level one kind of options?
Okay, so uh if okay, for example, those trades that I'm talking to you about, that I'm risking $1, to make 5. is only going to be possible. Well, actually, no, not only, but really, like, essentially, like, on a spread, like, you want to use those, like, okay, when I think of, like, using option level 3 option, like, spreads and stuff, I don't want to essentially cap my gain ever. Yo, I don't ever want to cap my gain on a trade where I know, like, there's a 50-50 shot of, like, a move happening that, has excess, like, volatility, like, just baked into the fucking option premium. So it's like, you don't want to do that. Like, you want to go and fucking buy an option, whether it's a fucking long call or a fucking long put, and you want to fucking hold that shit fucking in the money, and you want to ride that shit till it's fucking up like 20x, and then fucking, like, come home and fucking bag that shit and use it for the next fucking one that you're gonna fucking risk one to make fucking another fucking 7 or 10 or whatever, and you want to just do that, bro. Like, you just want to find, like, but bro, when I say that, it's fucking hard, bro. It's fucking hard to, like, go and stick to.
Oh, that boy froze. Hello?
All right. So while he's frozen, hopefully he's coming back soon. Could be a phone dying, could be
Yeah,
signal,
that's probably
Wi-Fi
what it is.
low.
But
But
yeah,
that's
boy,
all good stuff.
this is a more complex things. He says to get into options, I would get into stocks first, because if you can do stocks, you can do options. It's just leveraged, so you're risking more. Obviously, you can make more money for a smaller amount of money. So if you only have 1,000, 2,000, you can make a lot more. Like he says, 2,000%. The gain is uncapped, so it's infinite. If it goes through the roof and goes crazy, you could make infinite amount of money, right? But it is come at risk, right? With stock shares, you're losing a certain amount of percent. Let's say a 1% move that you could, let's say from 10K, you can lose 1%, which is $100. But with options, 1% could mean you're losing $3,000 from 10K. So you want to be careful with that, and I think you should first learn, take it slow. Options are very risky, and you want to be, and it's more complex. Like I was saying, there's Greeks that come into it. There's obviously leveraged. It's a leveraged asset, so you're obviously can make infinite gains, but the downside, if you're wrong, you could have very significant losses, or even completely lose your capital that you used, right? Depending on what kind of option you get. So I would take it slow.
So
I've
welcome in,
gotten
brother Julian from Delaware. Thank you very much for joining in, my boy. And brother Lewis, if you, while you're on that topic, if you don't mind, could you give us like a brief overview of the difference between a stock and then the, like, how that becomes an option later on? Like, just a quick overview of the
so
two things.
so basically, obviously a company has shares that it creates shares and then sells it to investors, right? So people can buy pieces of company, and as that goes up, they can make money, right? As the company grows and the shares become more valuable, as more people are buying them, and the less amount of shares happen to be available, obviously the stock price rises. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? Once everybody buys the Bitcoin price will go through the roof. Right? With options, you're buying a contract, as he mentioned before, and this contract holds 100 shares. That's why it's so leveraged, right? So a contract could cost $100, but that contract holds 100 shares. So from any stock, for example, 100 shares of Tesla is what 20 grand, right? But you can buy an option that costs $100, right? So you're leveraging how much you can make on it, basically. That's kind of the simple way. And a contract is the contract. You're not obliged, but there is an option for you to keep the 100 shares if you have the money, right? So an option is if you're buying a stock, for example, you're just guessing the direction. It's either going to go up or down, and that's why you buy the shares of a company. With option, you're guessing the direction and you're guessing the time by when it's going to go to that point, right? So if you're thinking, oh, this stock is going to go $50 up, um, if you just buy shares, you make the money, right? If you're right. If you buy the options, you have to guess, oh, it's going to go to $50 up in a week from now. And if you're completely wrong and in a week it doesn't go to that price, or higher than what you're buying, basically, because it costs money to buy the contract. So that goes into how much you earn as well. So if it doesn't go to that point by that time, your contract becomes worthless. So all the money you put, now it becomes worthless, and so nobody wants to buy that contract. And it's a bit more complex depending on the price. So it's like I said, it allows a person that has the contract to buy the shares at a certain price. So if the stock goes higher, right? If it goes from $100 to 150, and your contract is at $100, then somebody else can buy the contract and get the shares for $100. And if that stock goes crazy up, to, let's say, $250, then that basically makes everybody want that, and that's why the price of it, which is called premium, goes up. And basically, it is more complex than, and different things go into it, like volatility of the stock itself will make the price of the contract more. So it's just basically, it's a people trade contracts to be willing to buy the shares, and depending on how it moves, if it goes a lot above the price that the contract is, a lot of people want to buy it, so the price goes up, and you can make crazy gains on just selling the contract itself to somebody else that is willing to pay for it, because maybe they think the price is going to go higher or whatever, lower, depending on where you're going to go. Calls or puts. Calls are up, puts are down. It's kind of basics. You're gonna need to learn a lot more to get into it, because it's more complex than buying shares. So there's a lot more that goes into the price of the premiums, and yeah, you have to learn Greeks. You have to learn just generally what the company itself does and the different events that go into and news that go into the company. Obviously, you have to know technical analysis to understand what you're doing, and also understanding how different premiums get affected if you get into close to the price or out of the money, what is called, which is a lot higher than the price or a lot lower, depending which direction are you picking. And those usually come at a greater risk, because if it doesn't go close to that price, or it doesn't go high, I mean,
If
into
it
the
doesn't go
direction that you're
close to
buying,
the
they
strike,
could
right?
they
Close to
could
the
lose the value.
contract.
Yeah, they can lose the value very quickly, and especially if it goes away from the price that you picked and the direction you picked, it could be pretty much
A
become
total
worthless
loss.
pretty fast. Yeah.
A total loss very quickly. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So welcome
exactly
in, brother Jude. So we were just having brother Lewis describe the difference between a stock and an option, and I know that you guys were in the middle of a convo. So Lewis, I'll let you go ahead and continue picking his brain from where you were last time. And thanks for joining back on, because I imagine your phone died or something like that,
No,
right?
yeah. No, I got a call. I got a call, and my phone just fucking bricked, bro. It's just what the
All
fuck.
right. Appreciate that. So, Brother Lewis, if you could go ahead and remember, Fresh does know Jude personally. Jude was actually going to go on a Fresh match last year. Didn't happen yet. But, of course, you're known for making some big trade options there. And my dog, Lewis, go ahead and pick his brain because we got Brother Cersei to learn on this call. Julian from Delaware, thank you for being on here. Let's fucking go.
So another question for you: what are some rules, or what are some things that help you get into mindset, the right mindset, or to follow your rules that you have when you're trading, basically? Like, what are the things that key factors that make you profitable, basically?
Well, okay, so I definitely want to say that the most important thing, like before, was actually uh the like my biggest like fucking like issue, like critical pivotal thing is the position sizing. So I actually try and now only take like I actually pretty much started, instead of, you know, getting the mindset of the fucking whole one-itis thing. I kind of been looking at my trading like more of a like uh I'm gonna go fishing and I'm gonna fucking like stay there and just fucking catch like just by like staying there. Like I know that like by staying in like the fucking fishing boat, I know like this is a good analogy for sure. But by staying in the fishing boat, bro, and having my fucking rod out, bro, and having my capital to fucking, you know, deploy and catch these fucking trades, and like I'm gonna catch these fucking fish, bro. Having that rod and the fucking setup of being in the ocean ready to catch a fish, bro, is more important than fucking uh just just trying to like just go and or fuck how do I explain this uh how do I explain the opposite side of this? I didn't think about that. Like, so let's say you having a fucking like, okay, let's put it like this. So let's say time, like let's say you go out and you buy a fishing boat and you fucking have your setup and you have your rod. And really, what's most important in the long run, if you want to catch more fish, right, over the long term, I'm talking over a year, right? You're going to want to go out in the fucking ocean and have your shit ready every day if you want to go and catch the most fish. So why are you like for me, like my mindset was, okay, I'm gonna go and get all these fucking lures, and I'm gonna get all these rods and fucking all these baits, and fucking just have all my setup, and I'm gonna rent my setup and blow all my money on renting my shit for one day and trying to like catch the most fish really quickly, and that's just not sustainable. It just doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that if you fucking were getting paid to like go and fucking get catch fish, bro. Like, it's the same shit. It's like fishing, bro. It's the same shit as like running a fishing like fucking business, bro. It's like it's because it is. It's like fucking you're not gonna over leverage and just not have the opportunity to fucking make that money. It's not worth it. I mean, the one itis is fucking horrible. If you curb that, bro, and you're just like look at the charts and you're fucking on this shit every day. Like, my shit is just like longevity. Like, I fucking never quit when I like have a fucking losing streak. And I try and keep my position sizing like correctly, so I fucking have enough fucking bait and enough lures to fucking catch more fish all fucking year, bro. So that's honestly the name of the game, is just being educated and waiting to deploy your capital when you fucking see the opportunities that are like perfect for the like ripe for the catching, bro. That's really the whole fucking shit of this, bro.
I want to add a little bit as a trick that you can that people here can use. This is what I do when I have like a losing streak, which happens. It happens to everybody.
Everybody, yeah,
It's
definitely.
is you can lower the position size
Right.
to the point where you can regain confidence, especially after like a heavy losing streak. You can lower the position size. That way, you're more comfortable with taking proper trades. And then once you start a winning streak, or you start winning, getting your confidence, then you can increase the position size little by little, or however you want, until the point where it was before, or even higher if you're trying to grow and you've grown your account back and even more. So I just that's one of the tricks that I've learned from a mentor before, and it's a good way to reposition yourself mentally to where you're able to do the right things again. Because when you're losing, especially on a losing streak, your mentality is fuck. You become more fearful. You become more. You just not making the right decisions and not taking certain opportunities that could be useful and that could make you money. And that way, you're lowering the stress level and you're building confidence again.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's literally fucking perfect example. Right.
Oh, yeah. And then we got Sammy on the call. You know what I'm saying? I know you're working right now listening, Sammy. And it is very interesting to have a dialogue back and forth between two traders, man, because it's not often you get a chance to pick the minds and see how people have been winning. And I know between Lewis and Jude, y'all boys be fucking winning. That being said,
Let me ask some people. I mean, let me ask people questions here. Are you guys? How is your jobs and everything? Would you be able to do trading in the future? Like, because there's a certain time that I mean, if you're trading stocks, for example, there's a certain time that is kind of prime time for this. All right, you're not going to be trying to trade at 2 a.m. stocks because it's closed. All right, so how is your schedule usually? Would you be kind of in the future interested in getting into this? Because most traders, they trade, from it could be from 8 a.m. till probably like 2. That's most of the time. That's the time frame. Somewhere in that time frame, that's where most traders are trading. It could be from 9:30 to 10. It could be from 10 to 12. It could be, it just depends on their style and what they do. But usually it's around that time frame.
Yeah.
So anybody, whoever wants to go first, to kind of say, okay, I work this hours, maybe in the future, when I'm have more freedom, or maybe my job allows this. So whoever wants to go first.
all right,
Chris, you
let's
could
go.
start calling some people and just
Yeah, I
see.
was gonna say, let's go. Sammy, Patrick, TC, Omar, Julian. And then Jude, go ahead and wait a moment. Let everyone talk first, and then we'll go back to you, all right, my boy? Sammy.
Yeah, let TC go.
All right. Well, Patrick and then TC. Patrick.
When I do make the move to Miami, yes. I don't know if this makes an effect, but like in Hawaii, the markets open like at 3 in the morning. So
Well, yeah,
that
fuck. I did forget that there's time difference. So my example maybe wasn't as good. But
yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing that's kind of
I,
stopping me.
I was talking about like Eastern time
Eastern, yeah.
zone. That's where I am.
Yeah, probably in the when I move for sure, to Florida, that would be a lot easier for me to start trading.
Perfect. I love that you said that. Me and Bayate are working on something to make all of your lives easier, including you, Patrick. Let's freaking go, man. I'm excited for that. TC, my boy. Well, if you're able to answer this question, what do you say to Brother Lewis?
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Patrick. Right now, my jobs are labor intensive and I need to be like active. Sitting in front of a computer screen isn't optimal for either of those. But when I get to Miami, I have a couple of plays lined up for like in terms of work, and probably like a year or two down the line, I'll be able to kind of watch the trade as it happens throughout the day. So later down the line, I could obviously get versed in it now. That wouldn't hurt to learn it, but I can't just do it right now.
Fair enough. Well, if you stay on these calls, you'll be more prepared than the average person, my boy, and that's what it's all about. You feel me?
100%, brother. Appreciate you both.
Hell yeah, my brother Omar. How does getting into the trading economy look for you, big dog?
Yo, honestly, bro, it's because my job, I'm 9 to 7 every day, pretty much. So it's like I'm on the eastern side. I'm in New York, so I'm 9 to 7. I know
I
that's
want you
like
to know that for all of you, I do believe that we are going to be able to free up your time so you can do this. Yes, it is time intensive, but I, working full-time jobs, have been able to dive into options and manage it. I don't want you to feel like it's as hard as it seems. It really is not. It really comes down to if you're open to it or not.
I honestly, I have most of my resources is in another endeavor, so I'm not looking into options or trading at the moment.
Thank you, my boy. I understand where you're coming from. Trust me. As long as you're open, the whole world is your oyster. And then my dog Julian, thank you for joining in today, my boy. Any questions for anybody? Questions for Lewis? Questions for Jude? Are you able to become a trader? How do you feel about crypto, stocks, options? Go ahead in Delaware, my boy. Julian.
I don't particularly, I think, have much to add to the conversation. I'm kind of just soaking up what knowledge Lewis is throwing out there. I believe in being an informed man, but to answer your question, no, not particularly. I'm just here.
I will say, based on analyzing your character and skill sets, I could see you actually being really good at this because if you do understand a couple patterns and a couple chart flows with the way we spoke about how your mind works, I actually think you as an individual would be able to take this away, my dog. So, how does that answer your question, dog Lewis? It looks like we got some like people that are willing to get into it, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
like not right now today.
Yeah, Sammy, tell your answer as well.
The thing is, man, like I work I work pretty much like 12 hours a day, so I don't think I have much time to do it. The thing, and also I'm Easters too, so yeah, I'm not have time to be trading. Probably in the future when I touch down to Miami, yeah, I might get into trading in the future. So yeah.
Yeah. So for you guys so far, I would say long-term investing, obviously, that's a must for everybody in general. And also, you can, similar to day trading, it's not the same, but it's similar to understanding day trading. You could do swing trading, which very similar. If you do one, you could kind of do the other. If you do day trading, you can do swing trading. If you do swing trading, it's a bit harder to learn day trading, but they're very similar. And certain things that you can learn in day trading, you can apply in swing trading, or the opposite as well, right? So that's what I would recommend you guys to start with. And yeah, since you don't have time at the moment, but once you become more financially free, it is as you can see, even though I said from 8 a.m. till 2, it seems like a big time frame, 6 hours. But most of the time, like even for myself, I spend about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if it's a difficult day. Most of the days, from 9:30 until like 11:30, maybe 12 max. And yeah, and I'm usually done trading by that time, and I made some money, or maybe I lost some money at that day. But usually, it doesn't take an 8 hour day to make money. So
Yeah, I really want to
Okay.
emphasize it
Okay.
does not take an 8 hour day. I'm not as gifted as Lewis. I'm not as gifted as Jude, but I myself do dabble in there. I will do option tradings. I will do meme coins. And I think that right now at this moment, the majority of you are on that HODL, HODL, which is a joke. It's like it means hold, but somebody a long time ago wrote HODL back when they needed to hold, and it was just called HODL ever since then. It's a diamond's hand strategy for your portfolio, just the way in which Patrick is invested in Bitcoin, and some of you are probably invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, the major coins, the major tokens you guys should be invested in and holding. as long as you have that type of knowledge, by the time that you touch down and land out down here in Miami, I do not want you brothers sleeping out on thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, just to get your foot in the door. Because I'm telling you, it does not take a whole lot of skill once you get your foot in the door to keep that ball rolling or keep that momentum going. So that being said, I'm going to open up another dialogue between Lewis and Jude. Jude, go
100%, bro.
ahead and ask a question to Lewis about things that you might not have learned yet, or something that you want to know.
So, Lewis, I wanted to say you definitely are hitting the nail like on the head, bro. Yeah, and bro, it's really, it's not like everybody always does like think that, yeah, like, oh, this is so time intensive and shit, like, bro, this honestly, it has the potential to be like like the most like uh time fucking or no, the least time consuming fucking activity of like the fucking day that like you want to fucking do shit with, like, it's like,
Yeah,
bro,
least time,
you
most reward, right? So for the least amount of time, you do get the maximum amount of return. So we
it's
we understand that. Maybe like a little bit more towards the question, my boy. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it is stressful, so that's what you're getting paid for. Most of the time, I mean, especially in the beginning, it's very stressful, and it's time consuming in the beginning to learn things and understand things and spend time on a long term to visualize and kind of see what's happening and how that affects different things and etc. But day to day, it's really not. That's why most traders get into trading because of the money and because of the freedom. Obviously, there is some time constraint where you have to be online to make money, right? You have to be at a certain time, whatever your strategy is. But other than that, it's very like not that much consuming, in time wise, and you get a lot of freedom because obviously you can have days that are, some traders make 100,000 in one day, and that's a consistent way of making money for them, right? They make millions a month. Other people, let's say you don't have much capital, you could still make, 250, $500, $1,000 per day, and have that as an extra income. Like what I'm planning to do in the future, I obviously have a job right now because I have to pay some credit, and I don't want to drain my capital that I have in financial markets. Right, I don't want to sell. I don't want to take out money. So I'm working a job to pay off that credit. But I can have a job and also do trading and also work on a robot and all this shit. So eventually, when I quit that job, and I basically don't work there anymore. Right. Last year, I didn't work anywhere except just trading. Right. And I was trading for a whole year just off trading and have freedom up to my ass. Basically, just work 2 hours a day. Some days I've had where I've made, 2K in like 10 minutes. And it's crazy because you look at money very differently at that point. You see, like, fuck, I just made this much money that usually will take me like a couple of weeks or a week of work, or, depending on your job, that could be a month's worth of work for some people. So it just depends, and yeah, it's a really life changing thing that could happen. And obviously, I want you guys to get to that point where you're making a lot of money from financial markets, because whatever you do in life, it is a very useful tool to grow your money, to scale it, multiply it. So yeah, that's why we do these calls, to help you guys get into a state of mind where you're understanding what is going on. You can use this to gain more money, to increase your wealth, and then maybe transfer it to something you like more. Like maybe you want to build a business, you don't have enough capital. or you want to get into real estate, you don't have enough capital. And these are things that can start you with somewhat low amount of money, especially if you go into a more risky assets. You know, you could start with a little bit of money and grow it into more, right? Or like crypto, for example, you can turn few thousand into, you know, a sizable amount, 20, 30K. And it just comes down to what you're willing to do and what you're willing to learn, and how quickly you can fix the mistakes that you're making. So yeah.
Big facts, bro. Because what I'll go on to say is that the reason I myself have made money doing this, or Lewis and Jude, that we've obviously made tens of thousands of dollars between us just doing it. It's not because we sat there for 8 hours a day and treated it like a full-time job. It's specifically because we stayed up to date with the research. We identified trends and patterns. We had it in the back of our mind, and then we made the play strategically, playing chess, not checkers, because we knew it was the right move. There is no reason that any of you should be intimidated by the fact that you think you need to approach it like it's a 1950s style job, or that you're going to approach it like a 9 to 5. It's more about education, patterns, staying up to date on the market, and knowing when to make the move based on your buying power, so you have more buying power. There's no one here that is inept or so far removed that you wouldn't be able to just jump in with both feet. I've got a chance to know each and every one of you personally, and I just want to say, like, listen, my boy Jude is doing it. Y'all boys could definitely be fucking doing it.
Yeah, it seems very complex, and that's why I talk about it this often. The jargon that you hear in, for example, when a doctor is talking about some procedure that he does, or some disease or whatever, they have some fucking complex ass fucking names. And when you hear that, you're like, well, what is that? Well, like, what? You don't understand anything. And I think people create those language barriers, so there's less people trying to get into that industry, especially if it's a profitable industry, right? And it's easier to talk that way. So when you first hear about certain things that we talk about, or, you know, Jude had thrown many different things, many different like jargon words that you might not understand or you don't know. Oh, look, my cat. Yeah, but it's what's it called? It is, with time you will understand these things, and it will seem to you, okay, I understand this, I can make money with this. And at first everybody's scared of it because there's so many complex words. So you want to, you know, take your time with this is a lifelong journey, you know what I mean? It's not a quick money shit, you know, because that way if you go into it with that mindset, you're gonna lose your money, and then you're gonna quit, and you're gonna lose an opportunity, an asset, a potential way to diversify yourself to create more wealth. Even, you know, you could get loans later on. Robert, right? His name's Robert in the chat.
Robert is with he, Roger is artificial intelligence guy.
Roger. Sorry, Roger. I keep saying he's Robert. I don't know why. But yeah, Roger was, for example, mentioning that you can take loans against assets, and those assets do include stocks. Or even in the future, it's probably going to be. I mean, companies are already taking loans against their Bitcoin, but I don't think is that available for people yet. Maybe somewhere, maybe in Dubai or something, you can get loans against as a collateral to your Bitcoin holdings, but generally it hasn't happened on a mass scale yet. But it's going to happen, right? So in the future, you can get extra income or extra capital from just having these things as a way to make money for you, or to diversify your money. So that's why it's so important. Like, don't burn yourself out. Don't get scared of it, because this is a lifelong thing that you can do, and that could, you know, make you money in the future. And you can make massive amounts of money with different asset classes that financial markets give you. You know, commodities, options of U.S. equities. You know, obviously U.S. equities themselves, crypto, like commodities like gold, things like that. If you learn the most, you could use it to your advantage in the future, especially if you make money from a business, if you make money from real estate and things like that. It's a good vehicle for you to increase that wealth, right? So that's why I want you guys to not get scared and not get overwhelmed by certain things we say or that you might not understand, and just be patient with yourself and be at a slow pace. You can learn. It's all on your timeline, right? We're not trying to force you to make money tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's all on your timeline, and be patient with yourself.
And Brother Jude, I would like you to go ahead and tell Lewis about how much you'd say that you've been profiting lately based on your trades. What are your numbers and margins and figures looking like? Give us an idea of what the markets are looking like right now. That's directed to Lewis.
So right now, I'm only, or well, what I've been like doing as of late. So I actually wanted to get into like futures, like S&P, like NQ stuff, like I'm sure I think you guys talked about it, right? What's it called? I got the noti that you sent me. That was funny. The futures contracts that I trade, I basically am kind of like going like, so I'm doing like a type of like day trading like strategy, like as of late, like uh in and out, like scalp trades, where I am like, I use a negative risk to reward ratio and go for like an excess amount of like individual trades within like the trading like day.
And just to clarify that with Lewis, is futures the opposite of shorting? Or is that in the same area and there's two different
No,
methods?
it's a different like asset class.
Okay.
It's similar to options, but they do inherit a bit more risk, and they're usually traded on commodities or U.S. equities like indexes like Nasdaq, Dow Jones, Russell, things like that. And yeah, there is no cap to loss. So that's the
Right.
difference mostly. And I mean, there's a bit more complex things, but yeah, but it's
So
very similar to options.
right, yeah,
So
it's kind of it's kind of like, so instead of going and basically like purchasing like a option contract where you have like a price premium attached to like one single asset that you're buying, right? Whatever that be, a call option or a put option or whatever, like you have that tied up, and it's limited to that amount only. It's like, instead of having that and having a guaranteed unlimited amount of money, right? So it's like with options, like, if you're buying like option contracts for a price premium, you're basically putting up a limited amount of money for an unlimited amount of gain, like possibility, right? So like, in order to actually like make that happen, right? Like, if somebody is guaranteeing you an unlimited, return possibility, right? Somebody else has to take that opposite trade. So some like the guy that is basically guaranteeing you that unlimited possible gain has to take an unlimited like amount of uncapped risk, like Lewis just finished saying.
like a
So
player versus player type of scenario.
100%. options
Well,
trading
all of
is
it,
a
all of it
zero
is
sum
player.
game.
Yeah.
So let him summarize what you're saying.
No, I don't want to summarize. To what you said, it's player. All of it is player versus player. So you want to come into that from that mindset. You're winning for because somebody else lost. It's always like that in any market. So with buying anything or selling anything,
Right.
somebody loses.
Right. Somebody always has to, fork up that, cash to guarantee somebody else their winnings. I mean, it's like literally how it is. But see, with futures, right? With futures contracts, they use like these things to actually like hedge these unlimited like uncapped possible gains. Like basically it's the futures derivative like is basically what they use to hedge the risk of that like fucking all of their money up. So what they'll do is uh they'll basically take the opposite end of the trade to basically uh uh how do you say this, to hedge against losing their money to you. So it comes out, and actually they can do it to where they can remain neutral in a trade even though they took the opposite side and sold you something. They can actually like if they use uh the fucking what they call delta hedging, right?
Right. So let
They
me read what hedging is for the broskies real quick, right? If I were to give you a basic textbook definition of hedging, hedging is when businesses use futures to mitigate the risk of price fluctuations in commodities or financial instruments. For example, an airline company might purchase fuel futures to lock in current prices and protect against potential increase. Hedging is exactly what he's talking about right now.
Right. So, for example, like since they are literally like selling you an option contract, and they're guaranteeing you that unlimited gain, right? So they're taking the opposite end of that trade, and obviously they don't want to lose an unlimited amount of money. So what they can utilize, that fucking uh future contract, that they'll basically go in with however much leverage they need to actually like make the trade, like they actively manage the trade so that even though it's actually moving against them, what they're doing is like you, let's say you're winning, right? Like let's say you buy an option, you have that unlimited gain, and let's say they need to pay that shit. So literally as you made your money, they actually didn't lose any money, because what they did was they literally went in with a futures contract, and they changed the amount of the futures contract that they had like tied up into the hedge of the trade that they sold to you, that they're that they're countering like on their end, from like to basically ensure you that gain. Bro, they didn't lose any money because they fucking went and they guaranteed uh through that whole trade to end up in a what they call a delta neutral position throughout the whole thing. It's fucking crazy, but it's that's how these guys literally like make unlimited money, because like they can just like print money and fucking be smart enough to like look at the calculation of the fucking delta. This is the more complex stuff that Lewis was talking to you guys about, the option Greeks that I could go on and on and on about, but I don't want to, because I know you guys.
Facts. No, I appreciate that, boy. I couldn't have put it more eloquently myself. And at this moment, give me 1 second to introduce brother JC, JC, can you hear us, my guy?
What's up, brothers? How are
Bro,
you?
what the freak is going on? My boy, fucking savage
Oh,
out
just
here,
coming
bro.
in from the gym, bro. Sorry for the delay.
Bro, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Could you leave a couple games for the rest of us, JC?
I was with I was with Krishna. He's gonna join in a few minutes. Okay, the Indian guy.
Yo.
Remember?
Yeah. That's what the fuck is up, my man. And we got brother Lewis on the call right now. What we're talking about, JC, is anything to do with the new economic status of the tariffs changing the course of the crypto market and the economic market, the stock market, and for the sub markets of like trading options and futures, things of that
Yeah.
nature. Do you yourself participate in crypto holding, crypto investments, stock options, trading, anything of that in that
Yeah.
field?
But on the mid long term, I'm not doing like intraday. I just do DCA, dollar cost average. You know.
Okay.
But yeah, like I have a portfolio. It's like 10K, something like that.
Not a bad, real quick, brother Jude, stay on the line. We're gonna ask you some questions in a moment shortly. We got Lewis on the call. For the brothers that are probably at that level at this moment, JC, can you talk to us about a little bit more about those mid-level ranges? Because we have a lot of guys working right now. They might not want to jump in all the way. Give us a little bit of how you got into that and how you perceive going into the middle range.
Because I'm focusing right now on my business on my e-commerce. Uh, I used to make trading, and it take a lot of time, like everything, any project. So I just learned that TCA for me is the best strategy, so I can focus on my business, while on weekly terms, I invest into crypto or stock options. So I'm always buying. If it's go down, go ups, I'm always doing average. So yeah, like, so in that way I don't like think all day about it, you know what I'm saying? So
Can you give the brothers a definition of what dollar cost averaging is? Because I do think we have an automatic buyer in here, TC, you know what I'm saying? But for the broskies that don't know skis all about that, go ahead and give us the flow, my bro.
yeah, dollar cost average is you're pro, you're making an average of the cost that you are purchasing, every week, month, day. Can be, it can be, for example, $50 per week, $50 per day. How much? It's going to depend on your budget, of course. So but you are just purchasing every time. um, um, I used to have a broker back in Chile from my country, but right now, like a few weeks ago, I just opened this account on a US account in Fidelity. So yeah, from in US, I'm starting to learning what is the best broker and everything. So I'm still on that way.
Big facts. And how long have you been going in at the middle range, investing and holding? When did you start doing that? What year would you say that like you knew like, yo, I'm gonna make that move all the way up into 2025 today?
I would say on the pandemic, man.
Mm-hmm.
I learned hard way. Give me a second. An alarm is ringing. Okay, right now. I learned on the hard way, bro. I did a mistake of putting all in when I thought that the market was going down. So I was not doing dollar cost average. I was a noob on it. And at that moment, yeah, I lost a couple of grants. And yeah, I learned on that way. So, but DCA, in my opinion, is the best option if you are not an expert and you have your job, your side hustle, and you have too much time, right?
Right. So in general, can you be working a full-time job and be DCAing, call it dollar cost averaging?
Yeah, 100%. And you can do it with $10 just to start like learning whatever budget is more comfortable for you. And you can, but the thing is start, man, taking action, just learning how is the market. Try to follow, have a mentor. I have one Mexican guy, Salomon Dream. He is speaking Spanish and English in his videos, and every 2 days he's evaluating the market. So for me, that guy gave me a lot of insights, so I can understand better the macro perspective of the market, how it flows, how it's moved. So we are like developing that skill of the trading, because I think trading is gonna be the future for everyone. Like all businesses industries are going to be a monopoly. Amazon is taking all the industries, Google, Apple, these companies. So like micro companies, medium-sized companies, small companies are not gonna they're not gonna be able to compete against them. So the only thing that we're gonna be on the market, my projection, 10, 15 years ahead, is gonna be trading. So we need to get into it as up as possible.
So that's interesting to hear. I've never heard anyone say this before. You've actually come to the conclusion that the free market, the buying, the selling, having a job, there's really going to be no way to do it because monopolies are going to take it over. AI is going to replace us. Robots are going to replace us.
Right.
And the only thing left to make money will be the ups and downs of actual trading in the actual market. And not only do you believe that, our own president has done a meme coin. Please
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about why you came to that conclusion, my boy. That is some interesting stuff, because you're saying that's a skill all the brothers need to have, and we're hearing it here first.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like you were saying, AI is gonna take place, fucking robots in 2030 with Elon Musk. So the move is gonna the world is going to move towards services, and trading is a kind of service too. So um, uh, we need to get into the market and see these opportunities, man. I was checking the S&P 500 today. Between yesterday and today, it just dropped like 10%. So it's insane. We need to be aware, like, because we can make a bunch of money if we just understand these flows. I was talking just with Krishna about it. So we're gonna focus this weekend to see opportunities trading.
So I want you to know, Big Mo just subscribed to this YouTube channel. You're live on YouTube. Shout out to you, Big Mo. We're all here supporting my dog over there at FNF and my dog Joaquin. If you want to say hi to Big Mo, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Big Mo. Yo.
And then at the
Shout out,
same
brother.
time, I appreciate you doing that. Can you go ahead and explain to the broskies what is the S&P 500?
The S&P 500 is a index that has the name is saying is the Standard and Poor's 500 it means that let me explain in English is indicate the stock value of the 500 most valuable companies in the United States economy. So you have Apple,
Tesla, Apple, Tesla, the things of Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Tesla.
Right. There you have like Nasdaq. Nasdaq is for the tech companies. The most 100. I think it's 100 most valuable tech companies, right, Chris?
Facts, yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, yeah, like I'm learning, still learning. Like I always say, I'm not an expert, but trying to get as much as ahead with the trading skills. But yeah, I recommend it to all of you guys, brothers. So
and we're not trying to get anyone here to be an expert today. That might be something that happens over the time, right? But
yeah,
we're trying to get everybody that's attending the Zoom call right now to be interested in the skills, recognize the skills, and see that they have what it takes, even at a beginning level, and to then intermediate level, and then hopefully, of course, an advanced level. What do you think are the beginner skills? Because we had Lewis on the call earlier. We have Jude on the call right now. We have you going ahead and talking to us about holding. What are some of the beginner skills that you knew that you needed to have in order to make yourself a solid strategic investor?
I will say you just need to put time, my man. Just time. I studied pilot. I'm an airplane pilot. I didn't study for businesses engineer. I didn't understood tendencies. If you understand tendencies, micro tendencies, you're done.
Facts.
I should. In my case, I needed to learn tendencies, market tendencies. I need to understand like the financial economical system. I didn't know that what was a central bank, um, how the money flows. I didn't understood interest rates, but it's basics. Once you understand that, uh, everything is gonna be easier. And you're gonna start reading the market, and you're gonna start like getting to the next level on this skill. But yeah, like putting the time as always, putting the effort. I will say try to choose a mentor, man. Like that's helped me very much. This guy Salomon Dream is a beast. He do Spanish and English videos. So if you guys wanna follow him, go for it, man. Because for me, like that guy, like show me the markets. I learned a lot with this guy. So.
Big facts, man. I appreciate you saying that. What I have noticed too is, Drew lives in Miami, I live in Miami, you live in Miami, and all the brothers here have said that they would find that they would have more free time to do this investment trading in Miami, right? So if you think back to when you very first started with what you were just summarizing as research, can you remember or give the brothers some ideas of where you started your research in order to be as proficient as you are today?
I started like with $10, doing like step by step to understand everything because I was afraid, I didn't know anything about this. A lot of people were saying that this is scams and everything, but yeah, I think the main thing is action, taking action, a little plan, maybe an hour per week, following one expert, understanding what kind of mentor or expert on the internet is going to give you a lot of guidance. So filter them because there's a bunch of scammers on the internet. So, but yeah, with that, I took a now now that I'm remember that like my beginnings. I took a course of it was like 10 hours. It's in Spanish. I still have it. If it were in English, I will share it with you guys. And that course, like, teach me the basics. Fundamentals, technical analysis, and with that, you are done. You are done.
Technical analysis, volatility, buy, sell, up, down, all those like minor like things like the beginning basics, right?
Yeah, can I show you something because we're talking about this? You're gonna get crazy with this. Let me show you something because yeah, you're gonna see like I use Trading View. I don't know if you know it, guys.
Drop the sauce. I'm gonna write it in there right now. Trading View. Let's go.
Yeah, Trading View. And yeah, I just use the. Let me show you. Let me change the camera. Okay, there. Can you see it, guys? It's
Yes,
clearly.
sir.
Okay.
It's very clear. Thank you, my boy. Tell us all about it.
Okay, my man. This is the. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Bitcoin. Wait. This is the Bitcoin. Wait, this is 2020. Okay, I start analyzing, the Bitcoin on 20. This is 4th of January, 2021. And I start like doing this is like resistance, supports. These lines, these horizontal lines on yellow are supports and resistance.
Talk
The
about
price.
resistance and support a little bit. Educate the brothers right now. They might need to know that in making these predictions, in tracing these ups and downs on your candlesticks. Talk about the supports and the resistance.
Okay. This is the price, right? This is green and red. I don't know how to say in English, man. This green,
Candlesticks.
yeah, candlesticks, right? These candles, these green and red candles is the price. That moving is going up. When it's green, is because it's going up. When it's red, it's going down, right? So here, for example, the price went up. Okay, let me zoom in. There. Here, the price went up, right? This was 4th of January, 2021. The price went up and touched this support. This support. Sorry, this is not a support. It's a resistance. So then go down, as you see on the next day. This is a daily basic. Sorry, no, this is weekly.
It's a weekly pattern.
Yeah, it's weekly. It's weekly pattern. So this horizontal line is acting as a resistance because it's not going above the line. So as you can see here, then on the next following weeks, the price goes up and break this resistance, and now it's acting as a support. You know, so then it's going up again, and then you have another line here that is a resistance. Touch it, go back, and then on the next week it break it again. So now it's a support. You know, and that's how it's moving. But the thing that I want to show you guys, because this was 2021. You know, these lines that I put here, you know, I put it on 2021. Now check now the market, bro. I'm gonna see you these tendencies because the market is repeats itself, you know. So
yes,
get out here. Okay, we were here 2021. Now here is 2023. You can see the date there, right? 2023. Brother, it's still after two years, it's still acting as a support. And then this next resistance is still a resistance and then a support again. And look at all these ups here. And then repeat here, 2021, 2023. Man, 2 years later. So it's insane, man. I learned the thing doing this and look at that. You know, so it's crazy. Like the market is the same thing over and over again. You know, so once you understand that, is you're gonna start understanding tendencies, and you can maybe take good decisions because I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning, you know. But in these times where it's a lot of volatility, is the best time to make take these opportunities and monetize on them.
facts. Because past behavior in English, or like in general, we say past behavior predicts future outcomes, right?
Right.
So if you are able to study the past behavior, that's what each and every one of you brothers can do here. You can always look at the past behavior and study the pattern. And if you study the pattern, you can then make a solid, educated guess or a prediction on future behavior. And that is in general how credit works, how money works, and especially how the stock market works. And that is really what JC's capitalizing on now. My boy is becoming a fucking wizard on making sure he knows how to analyze these patterns. And I really like
brother,
seeing that.
step by step. And this is crazy, man, because when I understand this, I start applying this pattern
Method.
on my business, man. Because it's the same thing. It's the same shit. Patterns is you can apply that in all aspects. I start like understanding patterns on my business, and with that, I can anticipate on the opportunities to my business into my commerce. As I was explaining to the other boys, TC, they were watching the video of where I explained how we detect opportunities on our e-commerce. It's the same thing. It's patterns. It's insane, guys. Like it's got me a bunch of years because we started e-commerce 10 years ago. But anyways, it's the path of learning, right? Step by step.
Would you say that using these principles has taken more time, or because you learned it and became profitable, it's freeing up your time?
I wouldn't say that I'm more free right now because I'm so focused. Like I just want to work, you know. But yeah, like if I want like to have more free time, yeah, of course, because I'm like I'm getting to these goals, and with that, of course, I'm gaining freedom, but my goals are huge, man. So I'm just keep working. I'm thinking long term, 10, 20 years, you know. That's usually because I was so hard on the boys that we need to make this brotherhood. You need to come to fucking Miami. Forget about fucking Massachusetts, Minneapolis, fucking all these northern states over there.
All these noise.
Hey, you know, with respect, guys, but fucking come here, Miami. Here's the mindset. Here's the vibe. He's the mentality. And bro, yeah, let's fucking go. We need to be fucking together, you know.
Yeah, so I want to actually introduce you to a brother we have on the line who's famously known for making $250,000 in one trade. His name is Jude. Right before I do that, though, where is Krish? We got to get him on the call. I got a bunch of questions to ask this guy. Joaquin, JC, can you hear me, my boy? Shit. All right, it looks like JC is looking for Krish as we speak. But
bro,
Jude, go.
We lose the. Give me a second. Go. Continue, Chris, because we have a problem here with the light. Okay.
No, you're totally good. I just wanted Jude, go ahead and introduce yourself to brother JC, and go ahead and talk about what he was talking about as far as technical analysis and what was the takeaway from everything he said.
Yeah, Joaquin, I definitely see that. You pulled you were quick to pull up the Bitcoin chart, yo. That's funny, bro. That's honestly, I looked at that chart, and when you pulled up that support line and stuff, it shows that you definitely know a lot about the technical aspect of the analyzing the candlesticks, bro. That's the first. Honestly, for everybody else, yo, like that really is the first step to really understanding how to do all this shit, bro. And what's it called, Joaquin? With the DCA shit, I definitely feel you. Like, if you don't have a lot of time, bro, it's the best way, especially for like shit like crypto and S&P and shit, and just long term. Like, that's
Oh,
just the way, like, always. But yeah, bro, I fucking looked at that Bitcoin chart though, and it reminded me of the start of the, or well, the bottom of the January 2023 like cycle, like when we hit 16, when that shit was fucking worth, or fucking, yeah, it cost a Mustang fucking eco boost for a fucking coin. Yeah, I remember that shit, yeah, like it was fucking yesterday, bro. But I definitely want to say that uh, the the whole Bitcoin strategies of this shit is worth it. The whole I fucking went in. I went in like obviously, like you said, you you said you definitely like to get into the long term stock options, the leaps and shit, and that's definitely a good way to do it too.
Big
But
facts. I appreciate you saying that, Jude. Real quick, I
the
want to
leaps.
introduce brother Chris, who's on the line too. And I think it's important that we all meet, because Chris, Jude, JC, myself, all the four of us are in Miami, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that the brothers
Yo,
are educated in making this move, having the money to come out here, and succeeding long term. So, Jude, hold
yo,
that thought. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, my boy?
Joaquin, I wanted to ask you what do you use, or like, when you say like you're into like the stock options, you go like what, like, I'm guessing a year out. I'm guessing that's what you're doing. You're doing leaps and stuff. Leaps calls. Is that long?
I used to do that, and it didn't work pretty well, man. So I learned on the hard way. But for now, I'm doing just like mid long term, not options. I said it bad before, I think, because I said I was doing stock options. I was meaning that I'm doing also stocks, like purchasing stocks and crypto,
Okay.
but on the mid long term. But right now, with this volatility that we
It's the
have,
perfect time to get into
yeah,
leaps
yeah,
options. Yeah.
on options, right? Yeah, bro. Like
Leaps options.
Krishna. So,
Leaps.
sorry.
Leaps options, like long term. Okay, so it's abbreviation, like for long term equity anticipation securities. That's what the
Acronym.
abbreviated term is.
Okay, great.
Leaps is categorized as like any option that has like over like a 9 month expiration date from the
Oh,
time that like you enter the position. But like, really, those options that are longer term options have like more, what's it called, have more of a resistant uh nature to the implied volatility,
okay.
Like right now, like the implied volatility is very high, right? The highest
Yeah.
it's been in all of the fucking all of the time since like fucking COVID. We seen that
Yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah.
So now the implied volatility is really high, but like bro, if you get in like now and you get in a long-term option that let's say you have like a year and a half on it,
Okay.
bro, on like the S&P, you know, like long S&P fucking option, you fucking are resistant to the Vega, like the implied volatility premium that is in the fucking shit, so you can take advantage of the pricing now, even though like even though it's really volatile and you're gonna pay a lot for any option premium, it makes sense to go with the longer term ones because those are basically less or like more resistant to the change of the Vega over the longer term. So and you can capitalize on the low price right now. Like that's why I'm saying it's really nice.
You know more. You are more expert than me. So if you are in Miami, we need to link, brother.
Sir,
We need to do some trading, brother.
yeah, go ahead and put your phone number again in the chat, Jude, so all the brothers could reach out to you specifically on this knowledge base, because that is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to Christian in a second. I want you to hear what Christian has to say. We're gonna introduce brother Christian to the whole brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? But I need you to go ahead and drop your number in the chat, my boy, so everybody can get a chance to reach out to you. We got his Instagram in there. And that being said, we're going to talk about Vegas in just a moment. So go ahead and hold on to your seat there, Jude. Now, JC and Krish, my boy, Krish, what is taking you so long to get on this Zoom call, bro? Go ahead and introduce yourself to the brotherhood. Let them know. Can't hear you, Ninja. I can't hear shit. Let them know. Let them know.
Hear me.
Now we can hear you. What's up? What's up?
Okay, cool. No, what I was saying is, no, we just came from the gym, me and Hakim. So I was just preparing the food, and Hakim shows everything, so I don't need to say anything. But
Bro, you savages are getting too fucking swole.
bro, we gotta hit gyms hard, man.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but the good thing is, even in the gym, we met the guy. We're talking the same stuff. I mean, to be honest, like Hakim knows more about the stocks than me personally, but we met the guy. He has $2 million in the stock, and like he make like crazy amount of money by just investing and knowing that, and that was like mind blowing for
Like
me.
he put 2 million in the stock market and he's living on the returns.
He put $10,000. Right now, he make $2 million. His portfolio is $2 million.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and that was insane. Like the the amount of money you can make if you are smart enough and you have knowledge and understanding, that is like that's blow my mind. That's why me and Hakim like we are planning to get this weekend more and more knowledge on that. So that
Krishna, he show you his portfolio?
he showed me not. I mean, he showed me the number 2 millions. But of course, it was a long investment. So I don't know exactly what investment he did, specifically speaking, right? But fellas, yeah, this is like, yeah, it was a mind fuck for me.
Maybe we need to get him on a call in the future. But in that
Yeah.
like topic, right? The reason that I said that to Krish was because if you guys do make a large gain, there is a strategy by which you put like a 7 figures into the market and live off the dividends or live off the returns, because that way your money doesn't deplete and you're just pulling from, like, you're not just chipping away at your big large sum of money. You're putting it into the market and you're being paid dividends or returns over a long period of time, and you're letting your money go and get more dollars for you. So you're putting out $1 as an employee to go and its job is to bring you back more dollars. And that is a fucking solid method. But this guy, the Christian's talking about, actually turned 10,000 5 figures into 7 million. So he went from 5 figures to 6 to 7 figures, which is insane gains. That's one hell of a return, my boy.
Yeah, and he was like 26, so he was like very young dude. He was not like super experienced stock market dude.
was Jack, right?
Huh?
Jack.
Oh yeah, and six packs. Yeah, it's like hone in, like he has like dedication for fitness. Of course, that's why he was in the gym. And on top of that, like this money, I was like, God damn, this man is killing it.
Would
Yeah,
you say being a millionaire in Miami with abs is helpful?
bro, that you can get as many goals as you want.
Yo, right? It's like, yo,
Yeah,
as a guy, the world is kind of opened up for you right there.
bro, that's like knocking the door to heaven. Like now it's like. Man, becoming like this much money in Miami and having like fucking jackass, good looking dude, uh, bro, you are set for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And I don't
Yeah.
know if you got a chance to see the thumbnail for the Zoom call here, but it was basically along the lines of us coming together and discussing the current tariff market changing the macroeconomy on a global scale. And right now we're watching the market readjust from all the blood in the market to the tariffs being introduced to then a course correction, right? So that being said, we're talking up to the brothers about what has been happening in the markets, how you got introduced to investing. How do you invest? Are you in any coins? Do you have any advice on how to get started? Does it take up your time, free up your time? I'm giving the floor to you, my boy. Give us a little sauce, some info. What's going on with you?
I mean, of course. So, like personally, I invest more in real estate. Actually, I am a big real estate guy. But of course, I have. It's surprising to me that, of course, Bitcoin. I invested Bitcoin and like all the different coins. But it was interesting to see that crypto hasn't tanked as crazy as stock market went today on the last 2 days, right? So it was interesting to see that. But personally, yes, I invest in crypto. I don't have much stocks knowledge, so you guys are kind of expert right now, to be honest, right? But yes, it helps absolutely because now the whole point is now money is working for you, right? Yeah, that's the whole game. That's the name of the game, right? You wanted to invest so that money makes more money, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yes, it's the whole point is to free up your time basically, right? You're detaching the time with the money basically. So yeah.
So I'm dropping in the chat right now why we held this meeting, right? If you guys understand it from a stock market perspective, the stock market is dropping like crazy because of Trump deciding to say, hey, I'm going to introduce tariffs. So what happened is because he readjusted the entire world economy by putting tariffs, meaning that he's charging them money to work with us, XYZ.
TC, speak about the iPhone increased price that you sent me on the morning.
There's an increase in iPhone prices?
Yeah. It's gonna be because it's a possibility, right? Because of the tariff, for the
That
new
was you,
iPhone.
JT.
So yeah, no, that would be interesting because right now, I would say that it's going to be a course correcting market, right? So what happens in general is when there is a big change or when some notable thing happens in the news or when something has a lot of attention on it, the stock index changes immediately because what it does is measure human attention, human response, human energy, and what the human beings are doing. So right now, the human beings across the globe are saying, yo, Donald Trump, what? They're being babies, in my opinion. They're just being a bunch of little bitches. And because they're being a bunch of little bitches, human activity is showing thus forth that there's a decrease in the market. But once the tariffs start rolling in, what I foresee as a prediction happening is that we're going to be so well off. There's going to be so much wealth being produced and so much income being produced in this country that I could see that what you're going to see is a new creation of a new middle class. I think that you're going to see people being invested into the markets. I think that you're going to see wealth and prosperity flowing through the markets in a way that it never has before, ever since the COVID pandemic. And because that is going to be happening, you're going to see companies willing to hire, willing to take risk, willing to open up their markets, willing to flow in, and even willing to open up new IPOs, which means initial public offerings, willing to put more wealth into the world and more economy into the world. So we're actually on the precipice of the golden age right here, right now. So what you're seeing is a dip before the golden age takes off. So we are actually getting the first step towards progress. And this is actually what it looks like that we've ever seen in a long time. You know, if it wasn't for our super advanced skills, I don't know how we'd be propagating ourselves like, you know, brothers like Krish or brothers like Joaquin or all the other brothers here. We've been having to, you know, swing from one high level skill to the next high level skill just to hold ourselves up in this economy. But now that we have that great understanding of what to do, there is this thing that Joaquin was saying that like it might be like if AI takes off, that the only thing that we have left to do is trade. That might be the only way to have income being produced, and we might even have robots doing that for us. But if you don't understand the fundamentals, you'll always be the ass of that joke. You'll always be the butt of the joke. You won't always be ahead of the trends like you need to be. So that being said, Krish, I'm still talking to you, my boy. When did you first get into, let's say, holding Bitcoin or holding any of the major coins, as it seems JC is doing today? When did you start hodling, my dude?
I mean, it has been almost 4 years now, right? I was started to invest when as soon as I came to US. I like, okay, it's time to like get into like create all the accounts and everything like that. Started to understand um, crypto market, and it was interesting to see also like, oh yeah, if you remember the Dogecoin era, right? Where the Dogecoin got like crazy up, and just one tweet of the Elon, it like peaked like that. Like yeah, basically what I wanted to say is, since then I have been like of course slowly learning, right? Uh, what is the cryptos, and what is the potential of that, right? And why people are going in the crypto. And right now, it's interesting to see that in the past, and by the way, I also like created I was much into the blockchain, so that's why I created my own like mini blockchain, you can say, to just know that what's going on behind the picture. Um, but what I did is started to get into understanding of why people are going into this crypto domain, right? What was the reason? What was the psychology behind it? And found that like the people are attracted because of the decentralization, because governments like mostly, even like not in this country but entire world, like people hate government whatever the country you're from, right? Yeah, so you don't want your money to control by the government, right? So yeah, it was interesting to understand that, oh yeah, that's why the decentralization is more attractive, and that's why I get into more crypto than stocks. But yes, I did actually invest in the stocks, but in the beginning, uh, I was not as invested in stocks. I did have like a couple $100, but that's pretty much it. Uh, yeah, I have like around like right now. I just actually funny thing is I just put around like $500 in the stocks. Yeah, like not in the mostly blue chips, basically like Tesla, Google, Microsoft, because like right now is I think the right time to buy. You know.
Right. Like we are not, this is not financial advice, but we are coming to the conclusion that based on a pattern, if past behavior predicts future outcomes, because there is so much blood on the market, which means that the position that you could buy at is very low, which means that, that a position means that if it's very low in the future, it can be very valuable later. That if we are in fact heading towards the great golden era of America, you could actually be entering a state of wealth, life-changing money if you were to buy at such a low that we're seeing right now. So while everybody is screaming and crying and losing their mind, this might actually be the greatest time to throw in an extra 500 if you got it. Would you agree, Krish?
Oh, absolutely. I personally just like 30 minutes ago, I just bought stocks. Personally, I take action, man. You gotta take action. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I love hearing
I
that.
literally, Akeem knows I just like transfer my bank
Bank
account.
account to yeah, he did in front of me. I
Yo,
was telling
JC,
him.
turn on the camera, my boy. Let's hear it. Give us the sauce.
I'm next to Chris now, so it's gonna be like double hours. Like yeah. I saw him. We were on the gym, and after we talked with this guy,
Hold
Chris
on,
and started
I
talking.
can't hear. It is doubled up. Even though he muted his mic, it's doubled up for
Okay.
whatever reason. Go ahead and
Mute yourself, Chris.
he did. All right, you try. You might just have to go in another room for whatever reason. It's still
Okay.
doubling.
Yeah, because he has to speak out. Yeah. Okay. I was telling. We were on the gym, and this guy showed us the portfolio, and Krishna didn't think about it. He just started buying like stocks, and like he take action, man. That's the thing. We need to take action, guys. So
Yeah.
we're planning this weekend to get focused on into trading and start to seeing what is happening because realistically speaking, this week have been I've been focused on the business, but seeing this how do you say in English, Chris? These candles,
dip.
These deep candles going down. Look at that. That's S&P 500.
Right.
Crazy. It's like blooding. Look at that.
That is
like,
exactly what's happening. I put a zoomed in version of that in this chat right now. And if you guys want to learn how they teach you macro and microeconomics in college, one of the first things that they'll teach you is to go to yahoofinance.com. And that's what he's showing you right now from the S&P 500. So I'm going to put yahoofinance.com in there right now. And the reason you want to learn that in micro and macroeconomics is because it gives you an overall viewpoint, very similar to like Dex Trader for crypto. For the real traditional stocks, what she's showing you right now, that plummeting dip that we're seeing is live in the stock market right now. And, sometimes crypto will follow it, but like there it's really off on its own thing. So right now what you're seeing is the actual S&P 500 dipping like crazy because Trump introduced the tariffs. And the human beings are making a political statement. If I were to put it from our red pill's perspective, all the blue pill economy is saying, fuck you, we don't like you, Trump, in the beginning because they're crying like baby back bitches. But as it course corrects, it's literally saying that there's money on the table because that dip is so low. If you were to buy that, and if hypothetically, it's not financial advice, it skyrockets upwards, you have now bought yourself in low to now receive the benefits from a high. And as you can see, our intentions are to make sure our brothers here are sitting on a crypto portfolio of 7 million and having six-pack abs out here in Miami, Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Let's fucking go.
Bro, that stuff was like, man, it's like that's a dream, That's a fucking dream.
So that being said, we're gonna open the chat back up to Jude, and Jude was just talking about
it's a goal, Krishna. Goal.
It's a goal.
Dream.
Jude was just talking about stocks, options, positions, candles, futures, and Vegas. Go ahead and talk to us about what we were just summarizing and give us a little bit of education on Vegas and why that's important. And my brothers, go ahead, and if you want to talk to Jude, he lives out here in Miami. Like I said, Chris, he's very known for making a $250,000 trade.
So I wanted to say, right, you guys saw that guy that showed you like his like shit, and like you guys were like looking at it, and it was like a crypto portfolio, right, that like he probably like hodls like for like a longer period of time through like the ebbs and flows of the up and down crypto bull and bear market, right, over like years probably, right. That the way that like I kind of like went at it, right, like because I kind of wanted to take advantage of the fact that like I started to like learn about all this shit like when I was like 16, right. I kind of wanted to like go and try like the ultimate like high risk high reward um type of trading that like people like go and like risk a lot to make a lot, and like hopefully end up profitable over like years after they like de-risk after making like a little bit of money into a lot of money, and honestly, that's kind of where I I want to go and fucking get the, how do I say this? Like
You want to take a lot of risk and get a lot of reward today.
no, right. I kind of want to. Okay, right. I want to do that, but I want to go and actually make like a outsized gain right now, and then worry about like de-risk or like de-risking like after, like later, like on some like less or like some less, obviously less risk and longer outlook, like because you could do both, like if you're young enough, honestly, for me personally, my outlook, my point of view, if you're young, you have like literally the capability to take unlimited risk and literally do that shit like it's nothing, because nigga, you have so much time. It don't, that shit don't matter. It's just
So
good. Like,
that being said, I love what you're saying. I think it's badass. You are right. It is good when you're young. So for the brothers that are learning, that are not at your skill level, that don't even know what you're able to accomplish, well, like you were saying earlier, bro, would you mind giving us a little clue and a little bit of insight onto understanding the Vega?
oh, like you're talking about like volatility and stuff.
Yes,
So
sir. Because we're going
so
through that right now.
oh, okay. So, in like, okay, so Vega in regards to like options trading and like Greeks and stuff is like the measurement of like how much, uh, like how much each percent in the implied volatility that is cooked inside of the price premium of the option every time that the implied volatility of the option that you're looking at, right, increases. And the only way that the implied volatility will increase is either if like there's like, you know, like the sky like that is falling like right now, or like or like there's like a event that is already like anticipated to like move markets, like like is going to happen for certain, and that will cause like uh you know that move that they have to like hedge for in the pricing of the fucking option, bro.
All right. That being said, hold on, hang on to your seat. We're going to come right back around to you, my boy Jude, and then I'm going to open up the floor to Krishna and JC a little bit here with TC, because it looks like we're coming into the closing thoughts and the closing statements of this time. But let me go ahead and circle them back to you. And I just want you to know that I think that you've been on fire tonight, my boy.
For
So
sure.
give me one moment here. JC, Krish. My fucking legends, bro. It is really nice to have y'all boys on here. And we got TC on the line, right? So this is gonna be something where I really would like to take advantage of giving brother TC as much sauce as we possibly can, because brother TC has taken a lot of time to make sure that each and every one of the brothers have an understandable game plan on how to move out here and get involved in e-commerce. Now, I didn't get a chance to tell y'all boys that my money that I made to move out here is from e-commerce. All of it Google ads, all of it Shopify, Google ads, scaling Google ads to the nth fucking degree. One of the most notable months that I had was making about 60,000 in a month from just straight up Google ads and partnering myself with small companies, right? So between you, myself, JC, Bayate, and Roger, I think that we could come up with a game plan that is extremely financially freeing to these brothers as a foundational play for them to have money coming in from online. And then, of course, doing things that are accessible, like extra, in addition to that being trades like this, like in the NASDAQ, in the markets, and of course in crypto, right? So getting real money from sales, diversifying a portfolio. And I wanted to know what you guys thought about that a little bit in regards to educating TC and making sure that he has a very financially freeing time out here in Miami, Florida. Clue me in, my boys. Where would you put these guys in economic prosperity or freeing up their time with e-commerce?
Well, I think Hakeem, I'll let the floor take by you on the e-commerce.
Hey.
Yeah. As I was on my I've been doing with my e-commerce like 10 years, guys, right? And a lot of ups and downs, you know. I got all the bull run, we can say, of the e-commerce before the pandemic, you know. Um, but also we have a bunch of experience, me and my team, you know. So I want to share that with you guys, my brotherhood, so we can fucking go to the next level. If I can provide you value, um, I'm fucking happy with that, you know, because when I started e-commerce, I did a lot of mistakes because it didn't exist this kind of community on online education, you know. So of course, there are high competition, a high competitive market industry, but I can say that we have the formula, you know, as I explained on the video, on the Loom video that TC and the other brothers watch. So um, I present them a bunch of opportunities, you know, because on Tuesday we did another meeting, you know, like on live here on my building in the meeting room here in the co-work. And I showed them, I went open. I showed them like the customer success department that we have. I showed them the refund, all the data that we have in our e-commerce, in our Shopify, how many refunds we have, returns, because customers are in resume are opportunities to improve. You know, we lack automatization AI with AI, and Bayard is pretty good at it. So and Logan also identified a bunch of he's pretty good at analytics. Has a We were in the meeting because he was identifying all the weaknesses and where he can improve us. Tomorrow we have a meeting with Logan, by the way, about this topic. So
Yes,
yeah,
Logan from the Brotherhood. Yes, yes, yes. I love that.
yeah, that's the idea, you know, provide value, and the goal is to grow together, guys, because out there is a war, it's a war room. We need to take care of each other. So, and yeah, like right now it can be e-commerce. Later on, it can be trading. Later on, it can be making communities. Later on, it can be developing a software. It can be everything, you know, but we need to, the most important thing, we need to keep together sharing these values, because the values is the more important thing. With that, go for it.
I was gonna say, I really appreciate you saying that about values, because I myself am the most active in doing that, and I want to give you, JC, and you, Krishna, the sauce of why I'm doing that and how we're gonna make sure all the brothers are doing that. Because what I do for the community. You feel me? Our community. We are the fucking boys. We make it happen. So what I'm gonna do is that me and TC just got summoned by Julian in Michigan to do a call. TC, are you on? Can you hear me right now?
Absolutely, bro. I'm here.
Julian from Michigan just summoned you and me to a call, and he needs us like immediately. And I understand I'm on this call, and I respect each and every one of your guys' time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a call specifically with you, me. Okay, so Krish and JC, you and me and Bayate and Roger are gonna have a very high level call for the Brotherhood. It will be the most in-depth e-commerce call humanly possible. So I will set that up. I have 3 calls tomorrow, so I'll call you guys and text you guys in between. Jude.
Before you end, Chris, my fault. Throw me in that call because I have to text JC on the side.
Text.
I've done
Yeah. Okay, you too.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of individualized research on my own since Joaquim sent the video, and I've been kind of comparing and contrasting his work from what people are doing, and I'm starting to understand and contextualize what he would expect out of me if I were to be under his wing for the e-commerce. So I definitely want to get in that call and understand everybody. I want to be like a fly on the wall for that call.
Understood. Then you will be. That's all that you needed to say. So that being said, we're going to do that. And in about 2-3 minutes here, Brother Julian needs me and TC. So me and TC have been summoned. Normally, I would pass the host and hop it on to somebody else, but I think we understand where we're going with this experience, and I want y'all boys to get a chance to finish up, and we get you at a very particular time where you are more the direct line of communication we're having specifically about you guys, right? Jude, you have done a fantastic job on this call, my boy. If you could come in with more sharp bullet points and you could be more attentive, because I send you the link every fucking weekend. You feel me? Every week. I'll be sending you that Zoom link, my boy. So if I could get a call with you and Lewis specifically, where we talking about stocks, volatility, options trading, that's going to be what's going to happen. So I need to hit you up on the site for a whole separate thing to make sure that crypto and trading is in there. And I need you to sign up for my school, because my school in particular has a section specifically for this. And I believe everyone here is signed up in the school right now. That being said, I really appreciate these closing thoughts. Krishna, you and me are going to talk, and I appreciate the shit out of you, my boy. It's been a fucking legendary since Talking Taco. JC, same thing. We have now met up 2 or 3 different times. It has been legendary since the fucking event. Talking Taco in the Zoom call right now. We're going to fucking kill it. Jude, you and me are going to fucking kill it. Come out to these Miami events. We got a lot to talk about, my boy. And that being said, me and JC got to talk to brother Julian, a.k.a. Tarzan, right now. So these are the closing thoughts. You guys are fucking legends, and we're going to talk soon. Shout out to you, Big Mo. I'm going to reach out to each and every one of you brothers on the side, man. But that being said, the calls are going to stop recording right now. And then I'm going to let y'all boys go, man. I appreciate you motherfuckers. We are going ham. We are going strong.
Let's fucking go, brothers.
Let's go.
Talk to y'all boys soon, all right? I
Yes,
already
sir.
got my notes. I'm reaching out to each and every one of you. Let's do it.
See you. Bye-bye.